Okay, I think we're live. Let me check.
Oh yeah, I saw something pop up on your channel.
Let me see. I don't know if anyone's watching this, but live stream with Mr. Metokur. Okay, there we go. Why is the thumbnail that? God damn it. We got people in chat. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? We got Bass Richard Nixon in the chat. Very cool. Can you hear us, Jim?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I coming through?
Yeah. So let me just put this on. Just me. I don't know if anybody in the chat is familiar with Mr. Metokur or who he is, but we're gonna go on a deep dive into the Jim 81 Jim, Mr. Metokur, Internet Aristocrat lore.
Went all the way back.
Oh yeah, to 2007. So yeah, Mr. Metokur is one of my favorite internet personalities. I guess you'd say what you make like fucking internet commentary type videos.
Yeah, mostly. It's like stumbling across really obscure shit or weird people or like spastic events on the internet, that kind of stuff. That's mostly what I focus on.
And this has been going on for what, damn near 15 years.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So it's really you're like a dinosaur of the internet in a way. You're kind of the last of a dying breed.
I am a dinosaur. I am a living fossil. Grandpa who is enjoying the twilight years of the internet, I guess.
Grandpa Jim. So I guess we
Yeah.
can just jump right into this. So I guess we're gonna do it in typical Metokur fashion, where if someone donates, we'll handle that at the end of the stream.
Sure.
That sounds good. All right. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time, man.
There we go. So how did it all start, Jim? Give me the rundown. We're talking about you're in college.
Mhm.
It's like 2006, 2007. And that's the first time you post a video on YouTube, right?
I think like the early YouTube stuff that I did kind of grew out of because at the time, like video game stuff was kind of coming into popularity. It's not like it is now with like PewDiePie and all of that stuff, where you've got people with like 100 million subs and there are people doing Let's Plays and making $1 million every day. It was like, kind of smaller channels. Like you had AVGN and stuff, but you also had stuff like Armic 21, Urinating Tree, Gaming Goose, smaller kind of channels. Some of them were like goons, they did stuff on SA. Some of them were just YouTubers. And I watched like a lot of that stuff and enjoyed it. So that was kind of like my first foray, I guess, into YouTube stuff, was making almost like joke-like Let's Plays that were trash. But that quickly changed once I started kind of looking around and just kind of coming across like really strange shit. I think that was one of the more exciting things back in the day. Not that even it was even that long ago, but you could stumble across a community that was almost it was virginal. It was untouched, right? Because social media wasn't big, people weren't spreading it everywhere. You'd stumble across something and it was so strange and weird, and the people involved in it were so bizarre that you'd want to try to like present it, and that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, just like a small enclave of the internet.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And so just because I don't have a clear timeline.
Sure.
Before you made content, you're frequenting like something awful forums, metokur.org, and what's the timeline on all that stuff?
Yeah, so I did browse SA. I used 4chan, kind of early on. Metokur, that's like an offshoot. So Haberman, who was the guy that owned it, along with LMTE, who was a sysop on Encyclopedia Dramatica, and a few other people like Jordan Haas and H. Bomber Guy were kind of like the originators of Metokur. And I know that Jordan, Haberman, and H. Bomber Guy were all from SA, right? So they created a forum where they wanted to try to do essentially Let's Plays or a Retsu Praise, right? I think their original idea of Metokur for Haberman was they wanted to do Retsu Praise of non-video game content, right? That was his hook. And I watched some of their stuff, and it was funny because they were talking about like furries and all this other weird stuff, and that was kind of what I was into laughing about. So that's kind of how I got into that. But that would have been, man, I don't even remember. That's like 2008, 2009, I think, with Metokur.
Okay, so you
Uh,
already were making content at that point.
yeah, like around that. I mean, like one of the big things that happened with Metokur involved Encyclopedia Dramatica back in the day. So there was a group called the Edie Singers, right? And back in the day, you know, if you wanted to make an article on Encyclopedia Dramatica, you could do it. Nobody was considered like sacrosanct, right? Nobody was protected. That was the whole idea. You could laugh at anything.
Yeah.
But this group of people called the Edie Singers were paying money to the head sysop, to the owner, to Grippo, right? Sherrod or whatever. They were paying her money through donations to keep the site going, and in exchange, they couldn't be made fun of.
Oh, they had immunity.
Yeah, yep. And so LMT, who was a sysop, Haberman, and a few other people really hated that. And so Haberman at the time wrote an article about troll shielding. They started screwing with these people. It created this big kind of shitstorm between the two groups. Like I'd done a couple of videos making fun of them. Haberman ended up getting doxxed through this because she ended up suing him in New York court. And that's how his information got out there. I don't know how she got it, but she did. And then she filed a lawsuit, a civil suit against him to make him stop making fun of her. It was
What?
just really stupid stuff. Yeah, like people sent her horse feed.
Horse meat?
Horse feed. Horse feed.
Oh, horse feed.
Yeah, because it's like a granary nearby. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit that was going on at the time, but she was a heavier set girl. So, you know, but Metokur was fun. You know, at its height when it was kind of doing stuff, there was a lot of funny shit that was kind of going on the forums. A lot of strange people that got focused on that were pretty obscure that I don't think would get stumbled on now. But I mean, Haberman ended up wiping that out probably in 2015, 2014.
Yeah, I've never been on the site. I've only been on Something Awful, and Something Awful isn't even very functional nowadays, is it? Or is it even up to? Was it taken down? Did Lotex take it down before he?
No, he, from what I understand, he ended up selling it. So
Okay.
I mean, he got forced out, you know, because of his personal stuff. And I mean, obviously he's dead now, but
Rest in peace, my man.
rest in peace.
The homie.
But yeah, enjoy the Mangosteens in heaven. But yeah, he, I don't know. It felt like moderation came down really hard. I don't want to make it political. It just feels like it got way over moderated, I guess would be the best way to put it. And you couldn't make fun of it. Kind of like what happened with Ed. Like I've noticed this is kind of like a trend with a website or a forum. It pops up, it gets really popular, people have fun, they do goofy shit, and then it attracts so many people that within like 10 years it gets just suffocating, and you can't do that anymore because all the new people that come on don't want to do that, and they think it's too offensive or it's too mean, and then it just degrades the quality until people stop using it and it implodes.
Yeah, they got to water it down. It's like karate, you know. Karate's full contact, and the next thing you know, there's a what the fuck tri-sport everywhere, and it's a bunch of like dorky pussy kids doing karate.
Yeah, they're all hugging each other.
Yeah.
Talking about feelings. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So I read somewhere online that one of the first videos you made, if not the first video, was because you sent someone a zip file with a video game in it, and they couldn't figure out how to open it.
Yeah, so one of the, like I said, kind of back in the early days, I was big into gaming. You know, like watching the content creators that did that kind of stuff, and I was really big into emulation. Like, you know, trying to get stuff to work, you know, obscure, like, PC Engine games, that kind of shit. So there was a subforum dedicated to, like, emulation and gaming. One of the guys on the forum was an idiot who couldn't figure out how to get anything to work. He couldn't, like, emulate N64 games, NES games, any of this. So I created a list, a very long list, like step-by-step process of how to walk him through installing it, where to get the ISOs and the ROMs, to get like it's just everything to get the stupid thing to work, right?
Yeah.
And he like messaged me back and said, "Oh, I can't download any of that because my browser doesn't work." And then I tried you know, getting information out of him. What do you mean your browser doesn't work? He's like, "Well, I don't have Flash. My family won't let me download Flash." Which that has nothing to do with downloading zip files. But yeah, it was a clusterfuck of trying to walk this guy through installing an emulator and getting it running, and a massive waste of time. But yeah, that was probably one of the earliest videos.
The guy had zero troubleshooting skills.
Yeah, he was completely completely retarded. Yeah, he couldn't get the thing to work to save his life.
He couldn't handle it, and Dad wouldn't let him download Flash, so it all came crashing down.
Apparently not. I'm guessing this is the family computer, so he has to get permission on what he installs or downloads. Yeah, it was just a nightmare trying to get that to work because he wanted to play. I don't even know what he wanted. I can't even remember what the hell he wanted to play, but yeah, it just was not happening.
That's awesome. So, is the first YouTube account you were uploading under, is that Jim81 Jim, or I read somewhere. What the hell is Games Good Me Bad? Was that a channel?
Yeah, the Game's Good Me Bad one. Yeah, so that was the God. I had like hundreds of accounts. I just with different names, like one of the
Hundreds?
hundreds. Yeah. So
Damn.
uh, I'll try to give you like an example of why. Um, Let me think of what a good example of this would be. So I made one account. I think it was Midlife Gym. I can't remember the name of the account. Where it was basically a video making fun of the commentary community on YouTube. Right. What I used to do is I'd make an account, and I'd set up a fake persona, and then I'd make bait videos, and I'd let it sit for like 3 years, because eventually a group would come across it and try to like get an easy kill on it. So this one was just shitting on the commentary community, and what ended up happening was like 2 years later, like 13 of these guys all started making really obnoxious videos about it. About how I didn't understand how great YouTube commentary videos were, and how it was art and shit like that. But
You
they all
don't
had
get it,
really
Jay.
yeah, they had high pitched nasally voices, and they're very autistic. And so I shit all over them. And the funny thing is, I did that a second time. So after I made fun of all these people and they felt like idiots, I made another account called Wolf Tiger Fox Lover, where I used the picture of an obese man who was a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I did the same thing, and the same group of people came by. It was just a repeat. It's really strange that happened twice in a row, but that was kind of the shit that I like to do. So I had YouTube accounts all over the place, just doing shit like that.
Which is literally setting bait for somebody to like respond to it.
Yeah. Sometimes if you let it sit there for, I mean, it could be years, but eventually you'll get some kind of response that's funny, especially if you tailor it to a certain group. Yeah.
Is this back in the days of YouTube where you like a video reply would appear under the video?
No, this would have been right after that. The video reply thing was pretty fun, but like cam girls basically butchered it. Like it went from being able to put up a video reply that was listed right under the video to having 300 different women with their tits out, just trying to get like 5 stars on their videos, right? And it just destroyed the whole system.
Yeah, it seems to be a reoccurring trend in a lot of social media apps.
Yeah, that pretty much sunk it. That, or people would intentionally troll other videos by what they do is they'd make a video response that was only a second long, but they would make it because you couldn't pick your thumbnail back then. But if it was a certain length, you could figure out what the thumbnail would be. So they time it just right to have like tits or dick show up. So
Yeah.
it would pop up right under like a really big channel's video, which was pretty entertaining.
Just a ball sack.
Yeah, just ball sacks under somebody's video. Yeah.
So that's crazy. You had fucking hundreds of. There's probably some really hilarious stories that are just lost into the. In the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, and the thing too is back in the early days of YouTube and stuff like that is, like you have to go through hoops now, right? You need phone numbers and ID checks to set up accounts. Back then, you didn't need any of that. You just make what many accounts as you wanted to.
Yeah, soon you're gonna have to go to the local precinct and get fingerprints done to make a Twitter account.
Essentially, yeah, it's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, like early internet or early YouTube stuff was entertaining. There was a whole. Have you ever heard of somebody called Conjopi?
No, in fact, a lot of the people you've listed thus far, I have not heard of.
Okay, so there was this guy named Conjopi. I can't remember why he started his internet jihad, but he found a way to work YouTube's report system for DMCA's. He found a glitch where he could basically file off thousands of DMCA's in like minutes.
What?
So he used it to go. He created a trolling account where he'd basically go to somebody's channel and he'd be like, "You're next," and then he'd take them down. And he started doing this to just everybody, and it made people go insane, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest account he went after at the time was like Nintendo Capri Sun, who was like at 100,000 subs at the time. It was like this big deal. But the funny offshoot of that was a bunch of these like gaming YouTubers made their own website. This guy named Helsing, right, made his own website called Winger Dingers, where they'd post their own content. So people started making trolling accounts based off Conjopi and leaving comments saying, "We're coming for you, Winger Dingers," and made them paranoid as fuck. It was so dumb.
Yeah. Jesus, man, that guy was like the fucking hand of God, able to delete anything on the platform.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exploit was that he found, but back in the day, you could find just people screaming on the Google support forums about this guy, and YouTubers just having breakdowns because it didn't matter. He'd hit a channel with 10 subs or a million subs, and nothing stopped it. And it was just they were completely baseless DMCA's, but he found it was some loophole that he could just fire them off as many as he wanted.
It still is bullshit. You can still get someone's fucking channel like permanently or temporarily like locked by filing false DMCA's. It's really annoying.
Yeah, yeah. Like the exploits in the system. I remember once, this must have been like 6 or 7 years ago, because I remember people did this to the Young Turks YouTube channel when it was live. There was like some code you could put in the comments where it would make it stream across like an annotation on the screen, even if it wasn't your YouTube channel. So when the Young Turks were streaming, people were putting up horrendous things on their stream using this exploit in the comment section.
Really?
That lasted for about 2 days before YouTube figured out they screwed up.
Dude, a huge shout out to Cenk Uyghur. If you guys don't know him, he creates some really rad content. Right?
Oh yeah, great stuff. Yeah.
I love that guy. He's awesome. Shout out to his what is it? Is it his cousin Hassan?
Yeah, I think it's his. It's like his nephew. Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome. Right.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's where I go for any hot tips on horse husbandry.
Yeah, you want an unbiased take. I have Anna Kasparian tell me, whisper it into my ear at night.
Oh, nothing like Anna whispering. Yeah, she's got such a serene voice.
My sweetie. So would you say that Spax3 would be like the first guy you really went after? Or one?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Because that was again kind of an outgrowth of the gaming interest back in the day. Because he set up his own website.
Yeah, what was it called? Spax's Game Tune Zone.
Yeah, Spax3's Game Tune Zone. Yep, and it was a banner of him with like Mega Man and Sonic holding hands. And he made like 800 videos just seething about voice actors for Sonic, and I think it was Jason Griffith who he just couldn't stand.
Was not good enough.
Not good enough. Just not representing Sonic how Sonic needed to be represented. But yeah, that was his thing. He did he did a ton of that.
And I guess what was it like when you first dropped that first Spax3 video? Because you dropped several parts, right?
Yeah, I did a ton. That in part was, I think at the time YouTube only let you did. They had like a time limit back in the day, like 10 minutes. So you used to have to segment your stuff. It was really weird. They used to let you upload videos of any length for a while, and then it was like they can only be 10 minutes long, and then they stopped doing that and let you do whatever length you want. But yeah, there was multi-part. It was a lot. I shit on Spax for a while.
Yeah, was that guy like freaking out upon seeing the first batch of videos?
Yeah, he got angry because I ended up talking to people that talked to him. I mean, it's the same kind of people that I talked to that knew back in the day Chibi Necodemics. That's the guy that that's the guy that embarrassed himself at the speedrunning event where they're like, "Can you please shut up?" The same guy that cheated on a speedrun and had trolls call his house about him trying to hook up with underage girls. So like it's weird. You run across these people like 10 years ago, and then you come across them again, and you're like, holy shit, nothing's changed.
Well, they're still fucking up and being weirdos?
They're still fucking up. And yeah, because like back in the day, he used to wear like spiked dog collars and makeup and put his hair in ponytails and shit. It was just very like Pippi Longstocking kind of stuff. It was very weird.
Good for him. That's cool.
He was living his best life.
Yeah, I like that shit. That's good. So the SPAC shit happened. What else was notable in the Jim 81 Jim era, if you were like to recount?
I mean,
that?
it kind of bleeds together. It's like the Jim 81 Jim stuff and the Game's Good Me Bad stuff was mostly kind of mostly making fun of YouTube commentary stuff and making fun of SPACs or juggalos. There were a lot of juggalos for some reason back then.
Woo woo, you know what I'm saying?
Woo woo, indeed. But that was pretty much it. I mean, that kind of transitioned into Metokur, where it was more forum-based stuff, where we would screw around with different groups.
So all these years later, because it is the current year, 2022. What's your stance on, Violent J and the Juggalos, the homies?
Oh well, much motherfucking wicked clown love. I'm always down with the clown.
Yeah.
And the hatchet. Yeah, there you go.
Jim, we're a family, okay?
Yeah, we are fam. There you go.
I need you to know that. Now, I went to the Gathering of the Juggalos this past year, and it was fun. I'll give it to him. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I saw a bit of a clip of it on your main channel when you asked the guy to put his mask on, and he said, "Fuck off."
Yeah. No, the Juggalos are they're a funny bunch. Let's see. So after Jim 81 Jim, you were doing anime facts and prank calls a little bit? That just for
Yeah,
fun?
yeah. The prank call stuff was really fun back in the day. Like one of the things that kind of sucks about YouTube now is you can't do half of it, or the stuff that you see now is completely fake. Like back then you could do weird, awkward stuff in public. You could do prank videos. You could do phone calls, that kind of stuff. It was kind of just allowed, right?
Yeah.
But now it's everything's against term of service, and so like if you enter prank phone calls, you might find some of the old ventrilo harassment stuff, maybe, but most of it's just it's fake stuff, like like radio almost. It's not even real. But yeah, back then you could do phone pranks, and that was pretty fun.
Are you a fan of like
I mean, we used to call hookers. We used to call hookers and then get in arguments with their pimps.
oh, that's all, like call them to a hotel and then create a whole fucking problem.
No, we'd call hookers. We'd call hookers and then demand free service. And when they said they don't do it for free, we'd be like, your pimp gave us coupons. And they get their pimp on, and it'd just be a screaming match. Shit like that.
That's great. No, I love prank calls. Are you familiar with Longmont Potion Castle?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he's like a notorious prank caller from somewhere in the California area. He's been anonymous for like 20 years, but he's so fucking funny. Holy shit.
Yeah, some of the prank stuff is great. But I mean, that's that stuff that's kind of. Where would we even go to watch it? You know what I mean? To find like really good stuff. Like if somebody tried live streaming that, they'd probably get knocked out. Like even the videos where people will go after scammers now.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see that? Like the tech support ones where they go after like the scamming call centers in like India and stuff.
Yeah,
Like a lot.
Kid Boga or something. One of them.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of those channels. Like I've seen some of them get messed with, and I'm like, well, this is really funny stuff. It's entertaining, but like even that, I don't think is going to be around for that long because they'll be like, oh, it's against terms of service.
Oh, TOS is the best. No, one of my YouTuber friends, I think his name's Reckless Ben. I don't think his name. I mean, that is his name. I think he was exposing like a multi-level marketing scheme of some sort, and YouTube like deleted the video or age restricted the video or something.
Yeah, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And
So
half
stupid.
the stuff, yeah, with the call center stuff, or even with the prank phone call stuff, half of it was just humor. You know what I mean? It wasn't like super malicious stuff.
Yeah.
But even that, they won't let fly anymore.
What about like the Jerky Boys? Do you know who they are?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was. But I mean, I think most people are familiar with that. That was going around on CDs, just like Adam Sandler's first comedy CD. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about like really old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, old school. So, but now we're on to the Internet Aristocrat era.
Sure.
Was there a big gap between making the Gym 81 Gym stuff and the Internet Aristocrat era? Like, did you take time off the internet or?
No, the Internet Aristocrat channel was set up based off the Gottfried telling of the aristocrat joke, uh, where the video would start with Gilbert Gottfried and end with him saying the aristocrats. But that channel was, that the main purpose of that was to do those Edie Singer videos. So when I'm talking about like Haberman having like this war with Ed Sysops and stuff and the Edie Singers, like we used as a forum that channel to make fun of them.
Okay.
So that's why that's like the start of the Internet Aristocrat, because at the time it was just another one of countless others.
And when did it transition to become your main one, or why?
I'd say kind of after Haberman, like after Metokur kind of stuff. Like he and Jordan Haas had a falling out, and the forum just kind of petered out at that point. So I was like, well, I might as well use the channel for something, because I put some videos up on it. So I started doing videos on like Tumblr.
Yeah, Tumblrisms.
That's mainly what I use the channel for.
So what year did Metokur.org fucking go under?
I mean, I'd say like 2013, 2014. Like Haberman was really like thorough in removing traces of it from the internet. If you go on Wayback Machine or Archive, he personally wrote them to make them take down all records. And then he put up a long Tumblr post talking about how he was gay now, and because of that, I guess he felt bad about trolling. I never understood what the whole point. It didn't make sense to me.
Why can't gay people troll? That seems homophobic.
Right? It's very weird. None of us would have cared, but like he was like, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm a gay man. I'm going to delete all my trolling stuff. And so he wiped it all from the face of the earth, which sucks because, like the school shooter thing was up there from 2012. A lot of
The
really
video
crazy
game.
stuff. Yeah, that was the video game we were going to make. School Shooter North American Tour 2012. That ended up, it was just a mod, but it got a lot of attention. Even got cited in a Supreme Court case.
Big time jam.
a big time Metokur at the time because it
Yeah.
was oh shit, I can't remember what member it was that was doing all the modding in Source, but they worked on that a lot. Yeah, but just stuff like that got wiped out, and it kind of sucks because it was funny watching the thread progression of it go from the idea to like seeing it kind of take form.
So the video game was during like kind of the Gym 81 Gym various account days.
I'd say it was kind of like at the tail end of that. I mean, it was kind of like around the game's good, me bad, Internet Aristocrat. Again, like these are all accounts that just kind of simultaneously existed. It was mostly just kind of making an account and then leaving it there to see if you do something with it, or you'd forget a password, you just make a new one, and then you remember it and go back and use it. Again, it's very different than it is today. Now, if you want a YouTube channel, you need your phone number and a Google account, and everything has to be linked. Back then, it was literally took you 3 seconds. You make an account, and you're done.
Yeah, and back then, when did monetization even come into the fold?
That wasn't for a while. I mean, you had people like AVGN or people like that guy with the glasses that had to find their own way to monetize because they weren't actually monetizing. And I think they did that through Blip TV. If I remember, like that guy with the glasses kept getting copyright strikes for his like 5 second reviews, so he went to Blip TV and then he started doing advertisements. And then AVGN did as well. But like I think like the big money making stuff wasn't until like 2011, 2012. You know, with like ads, like the super chat stuff and all of that stuff. That's more recent.
And was that ever like in your mind? Was that did a light bulb ever go off? Like, oh, I can make a lot of money from this, or it was all strictly, I'm
No.
going to keep going to school and get my job and do my own thing, and then just privately on the side for fun, I'm going to do the internet shit.
No, I wasn't setting out to do anything with it. I mean, even when I was doing like the Tumblrs and stuff, I think was like 2013 to 2014, right? When I was doing that stuff, I can't remember if they had ad revenue at the time. No, they did. They would have had ad revenue at the time, but I mean, I was mostly making those videos because I wanted to laugh at stuff, and they did fairly well for the size of the channel. You know what I mean? I think it was maybe like 50,000 subs before Gamergate, and the videos would get between 25 and 100,000 views, and mostly because people didn't believe the Tumblr was that crazy.
Yeah, no, the Tumblrisms series is fucking hilarious. I love that shit.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. It was a really goofy website.
So, the Tumblrisms, is that the first shit you did that really caught some traction? Or I guess the SPAC series did pretty well.
Well, I mean, maybe subjectively. I mean, Spax was, again, it was mostly just kind of me laughing about it with people that I knew. But I'd say like the Tumblrisms things did well because there were, people outside of the group that I would usually associate with that were watching it.
Yeah.
And again, I kind of chalk that down to just Tumblr was really crazy at the time, right? And so it was new. Like everybody talks about that kind of stuff now, like privilege and, health at any size, all these like, catchwords and buzzwords and all that stuff.
Thin
But
privilege.
yeah, but at the time it was fairly new. So it was really weird.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy to see how everything has transpired back from like the 2010 to now, with the terms of service and the buzzwords and complaints and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it gained momentum. It went from like a weird little like niche thing of people that were like hypersensitive
To like mainstream now.
Yeah, because I think that they all grew up with it as teenagers, going through high school and then through college, and then when they went into the workforce, they got jobs at HR departments or in tech companies, and they took that mindset with them and then influenced terms of service. So their blog posts and their diaries from when they're teenagers became the stuff that the rules that we have to abide by now on different websites.
It's awesome. I really
It's
do.
great. Yeah, we all love it.
Thank you guys so much. The Hugbox Chronicles. That's something I'm less familiar with. I've watched probably every one of the Tumblrisms, I would think, but the Hugbox Chronicles. What exactly is that?
So it's mostly just based on events that were happening. I thought it was a catchy name. That's really what it was. But so if something happened, like a little miniature event on the internet, it would just kind of try to give a basic summary of what happened and who was involved. I think one of the videos was a YouTuber named Jello Apocalypse. Got a bunch of shit from somebody because they weren't being woke enough. At the time, nobody used the term woke, but they weren't being woke enough. Other stuff like that. Again, I mean, they all kind of follow the same formula. It's really strange groups of people or strange communities doing weird shit, right? And then kind of the enjoyment of watching how weird it is, when somebody tries to convince you that they have the spirit of a deer living in them, or that or that them being 780 pounds is just as healthy as the guy that's 180. You know what I mean? So
That's just a fact, really.
Yeah, those are facts. That's science. It's undisputed.
So what's one of your favorite Tumblrism episodes? And what comes to mind?
When it comes to like Tumblr, the thing that I enjoyed the most,
just like one of the episodes you made.
I mean, I have to think about it. I think probably the first one, which would have been, I think it was the thin privilege one, because it was mostly just, I mean, at the end of the day, it was mostly just fat chicks yelling about their doctors telling them they were fat, right, and how they couldn't cope with that, and it was such a stupid fucking thing. But they would spin it out into being a larger issue, right? So it'd be some chick who was like 600 pounds, goes to her doctor, and her doctor's like, "Wow, you are fat. You don't want to get diabetes or have a heart attack." And then she'd be like, "Well, that's you're trying to terrorize me. This is thin terrorism and shit like that."
Now it's a societal issue, right?
Oh my God, yeah, it is. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at least in America, it's like what 45% obesity here. Yeah, no, it's
I love
bad.
that. No, I love how a girl, you gain too much weight, and then the doctor tells you that it's unhealthy, and you throw a fit, and it's like I'm being, society's taking advantage of me and mistreating me.
Unless like the doctor's super clever and he's like, this is the only exercise she's gonna get if I make her spaz up by telling her how fat she is.
We got to get her heart rate up.
we gotta get some exercise going. Yeah.
No, that is a pretty funny one, thin privilege, and then the Hugbox Chronicles. That's I guess just more current events. Was there anything from that sticks out to you?
I mean, I think Ross was a part of that, wasn't he? I don't have like my entire library of
Memorized.
what each thing was called, but I'm pretty sure that Ross and the whole bathtub saga stuff was part of like the Hugbox Chronicles.
So that was Internet Aristocrat days.
That would have been post Internet Aristocrat. That would have been
Metokur Internet Insanity.
Metokur. Because I mean, I still did Hugbox stuff, and I still did even like Tumblrism after I moved over to the Metokur thing.
So Gamergate was kind of the farewell to the Internet Aristocrat channel.
Yeah. So I was doing the Tumblrism videos. They were doing fine. I was having fun doing them. The Zoe Quinn stuff happened. I did a video about that, and then the Gamergate thing grew into its own thing. And I was like, I'm checking out. I'm grabbing my parachute and jumping. And then I wiped the accounts, and then just like I think 6 months or a year later, started up the Metokur account, and then started doing videos on that.
So yeah, Gamergate was like a huge fucking deal. If you were to give like the elevator pitch of what Gamergate was, what would you say in your own words?
I was getting women out of gaming. No, I mean, listen, for like 3 or 4 years, right? You couldn't go onto a video game website or a video game review site and just read. Like, I wanted a newswire. I know this sounds stupid, but I think a lot of people did. Where like I just want to hear about video game news. Like just tell me the name of the title that's coming out. Give me a straightforward review, right? Just give me basic information.
Yeah.
But they took that approach of just giving you basic information, and then they started preaching to you. And it started out really subtly at first. But then, like, as it went on, more and more and more, it became, you're terrible. Gamers are horrible. If you play video games, you're shit. And it was like every outlet was doing this. And then they all became like incestuous with each other, and they were all super friendly with each other. And then here comes Zoe Quinn, who has this shitty game, and all the stuff comes out from her ex, and it turns out that she knows all these different game reviewers who are kissing her ass, and it looks like this just shitty incestuous thing. And I think people were just at the point had enough of it. They're like, I'm sick of going to like a gaming website and being told I'm a piece of shit because I play video games, when all these people are just incestuous idiots that are trying to like boost their career and don't mean any of it. And so, I mean, that would be like the opening pitch to it. And, at the start of it, it was mostly just people fucking kind of making fun of them and pushing back on that. But then it grew into like this multi-headed hydra of, activism. And, I pulled the cord pretty quick on that. I think I was in it for like 3 months.
You just bailed?
I just bailed.
And did you was there a hiatus there between that ending and Metokur starting?
Yeah, I'd say like 6 months, maybe a year.
And you were just chilling, living a regular life?
Yeah, just living a regular life and laughing at shit on my own, basically, yeah.
Oh, so you weren't off the internet, you're just not publicly making shit at that point?
No, I just shut down the accounts. I was like, yeah, I'm done. You guys do whatever you're gonna do. This is getting stupid.
And what sparked the rising of the from the ashes of Internet Aristocrat?
I just felt like doing videos again. And the other thing too was Haberman, like I said, wiped out everything, and so I thought it was funny because he was so desperate. Like it was very weird. So he was so desperate to make the word Metokur disappear that it would never appear on the internet again. So I thought, well, I'll just make a YouTube channel and call it Metokur, so he can never get rid of that. And then I get to tell this fascinating story about who Haberman is every time somebody says, what does Metokur mean?"
Yeah,
To kind of undo his work to make it disappear.
yeah, Haberman. Happy to have you on the show, Haberman. I hope this gets back to you, Buster. I wonder if you're like the bane of that guy's existence. If he just like absolutely hates you, or if you are void in his mind at this point.
Oh no, I think he's moved on. And if it was old Haberman, he would have laughed and thought it was a funny idea. But I don't know what he's doing. But I think he's probably moved on with his life, and whatever it is, it is. I haven't really talked to him or touched base with him in like 6 years. So I mean, he could be dead for all I know.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. If you're anonymous on the internet and you die, like who's going to be there to let the masses know that you're gone?
Well, I don't know if there's really a need to, but I mean, if Haberman kicked the bucket, I don't know who would inform me. I mean, I know who he is. Like I said, he got doxxed because of the lawsuit, so I suppose it'd be a way to look it up. But yeah, I'm fairly certain he just kind of was like, I'm just done with the internet stuff, and he's off doing whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah, living the gay lifestyle. It's good.
Living the gay lifestyle, yeah.
All right, so now we're on to Mr. Metokur, the big time Jim's your crowning moment, right?
Oh, the crowning moment, sure.
Yeah, the shining diamond of your existence. Mr. Metokur, the YouTube channel. Isn't the internet fun, Jim?
Oh, it's great. It's a good time, or it was.
Oh yeah, I guess it is fizzling out a bit, but still it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of great times while you're on the internet. So, internet insanity, is that one of the first things you post on the Metokur thing? Like, what started like, all right, you know what, I have some juicy shit I need to fucking talk about.
The first video I did was Hall at Halls, which was just one episode, and that was about the dental department at a college in Canada, I think, where it was a group of dentists who were going through their program, and they had their own private like chat group where they'd make jokes, and somebody found out about the chat group and tried to get everybody expelled and have their lives ruined because of it. So it wasn't guys going on like the school Facebook page and saying obnoxious shit. It wasn't dudes that were saying nasty stuff in class or going after people. It was literally a group of people in a private chat talking about stuff that got, out there, and then, these people wanted them expelled and talked about how dangerous they were. And I thought it was just insane.
And so yeah, I guess they implemented the life ruination tactics that you love so dearly.
Yeah, those are always super fun. But yeah, it was activists at their school that wanted them, expelled, and it was just very weird. They didn't break any rules. They were academically fine. They paid their bills, but they wanted them thrown off campus because of things they said in private, and I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, that seems ridiculous.
Yeah, right? It's nuts.
And this is a channel you're building from the ground up. It's 0 subscribers. You post that video. Are people recognizing, like, oh, that's the Internet Aristocrat? Does it start getting attention immediately?
Yeah, I mean, people picked up on it pretty quick. I can't remember I can't remember exactly how well that particular video did, but, it was mostly, once I did that, I kind of started jumping back into what I'd done previously. I felt enough time had passed, and that I could walk around the Gamergate spurgery to be able to just do my, make fun of Tumblr again, kind of thing.
Get back to doing what you love, right?
Get down to basics, yeah.
So one of my favorite things that you've ever done is the Jonathan Ross shit, just because I think that's so fucking incredible how you can go from, you're perusing the internet, you stumble upon a live stream with 10 to 20 people, you start watching, and just miraculously you stumble upon like a gold mine of, I guess, freaky pedophile weirdos that the internet, no one knows about.
Yeah, that story had so many twists and turns, right? So it starts off with just it starts off with Ross getting yelled at by, not even yelled at, but getting chastised by a group of people he's in a call with, and from there it expands into him saying all this weird stuff about kids, wanting to be a teacher, but who wants to hurt kids, like really shit that he shouldn't be saying.
He said he wanted to bathe kids or something.
He said he liked to collect pictures of preteens in the bathtub, but he also made like really rage-filled statements about wanting to hurt kids too that were in there.
Who would think that's acceptable?
Right, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then he had this girl that was defending him, but it turns out she's into like this kink community of littles where she likes to role play as a little kid. So, you've got him talking about bathtub pics of 5-year-olds and her wanting to be a 5-year-old. And then you've got this group of people saying that he's doing all this other shit. So I start doing videos on that. And then he's like Red Dead Bandito. He starts talking about super hackers are going to come to get me that he's friends with. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But the weird twist on that is, it turns out one of the guys that was really anti-Ross and wanted to see him go to jail for this ends up getting convicted and put in prison for like 60 years for I think he raped his little sister.
Holy shit.
It's crazy. So this guy had a YouTube channel dedicated to, going after Ross and saying what, he was a pedophile and doing all this stuff. And then it comes out he got arrested and then went to trial and convicted for raping his sister.
Damn. So he was like it was a he who smelt it dealt it kind of a situation.
Yeah, it was one of those big projection things, right? Like that was, I guess, his reason for going hard after Ross was like guilt or trying to cover it up. I don't know, but yeah. So like that's wild, right? Like you'd expect it to be Ross who was going to be the one going to prison with all the stuff he said, and then it turns out to be the other guy who was after Ross.
My God, yeah, they're both smelling it and dealing it, but only the other guy got in trouble. So Jonathan Ross never got jail time.
From what I understand, he got put into like I don't know what it'd be exactly, like a home, a reform house.
We got him the help he needed, right?
He got put in some kind of an institutionalized program for a while there. And part of it was just like his lifestyle habits, because thinking back, I'm trying not to misremember this, but like this was a dude that wouldn't shower and would shit himself, and like you could hear his grandma yelling at him in the background that he smelled like poop and needed to bathe. Like he would get into these rage fits where he'd scream. The cops were always coming over. He's always talking about little kids. So I think eventually the state stepped in and they're like, we got to do something with this guy. And they put him in some kind of halfway house program for a while. Where he is now, I don't know, but he went to something for a while.
Sounds like the best babysitter of all time. Covered in shit and trying to put you in the bathtub, but he won't go in the tub. Just you in the tub.
Yeah. It's pretty awful. Yeah, I mean, it's like somebody in your chat said, like Nick Bates. I mean, that's it. Pretty similar kind of thing. And Nick Bates is also somebody I did a video on back in the day. He got convicted of molesting his sister and went to prison as well. And he was like a fecophiliac, so he was into eating poop and all of this stuff. And I think he tried to like do that to her. It's just really horrible.
Tried to eat his sister's shit?
Try to make her play with poop.
Okay.
Really horrific stuff. Like this little girl is like, I think 9 or 8 at the time.
Oh.
But the thing with that dude was he talked about it on the internet for like 4 or 5 years. Talked about wanting to do it, talked about doing it, and nobody like believed it for a long time. I can't remember what it was eventually that switched, but she went to like her parents one day and said, he's been doing this stuff to me. Can you make him stop? And then the police got involved, and like this guy was like a horror story. Like his teeth were all rotted out.
Yeah.
And he tried to convince the prosecutor that he couldn't be guilty of molesting his sister by sending the prosecutor a video of him masturbating with poop.
Oh, that's great.
That's one of those internet stories, man. And I don't know, I like the thought process behind it. I'm not sure, but that was his brilliant legal defense.
My God, imagine how bewildered you'd fucking be as the you're in court and you're like, what the fuck is this piece of evidence?
Oh, and I remember too, because the video was accessible. There's
a
copy of it. Oh yeah, you could watch him jerking off with shit. And for a long time, I was trying to think, how can I put this in my YouTube video, and not have my channel immediately, because I was like, could I maybe sneak this in if I censored it a little bit? But yeah, it's not gonna make it in.
That's great. In the mind of Metokur, you're like, we got to incorporate this.
We got to find a way to put this in. Yeah, people need to see this.
Shit masturbation. So yeah, those two ones are obviously huge. The Jonathan Ross, Nick Bates, and I feel like you're somewhat instrumental in that coming to light, right? I mean, you're putting a magnifying glass on it.
Well, no, not with Nick Bates, because that was the girl herself that went to like her dad or her mom or the police. I started covering it right as that was happening, I think.
Okay.
Because like I said, he'd sent the tape in to the prosecutor, so that was kind of like, okay, holy shit, this is crazy as a story. The Ross thing was just something that kind of became its own little saga in and of itself. But I mean, I can't. Again, I thought it would be Ross going to prison, not some guy associated with trying to go after Ross. And then, like, that was completely out of left field. And I think, again, the same thing happened. It was the girl went to her parents and was like, he's doing this. And then they got the police involved.
So do you feel like you making the videos had some kind of an impact on that coming to light at all, or not really with the Jonathan Ross thing?
No, I mean, if it had been Ross that went to prison, if they were like, oh, we found all this hardcore CP or all these kids he molested, then yeah, I'd have felt like I played somewhat of a part in that. But as far as this other guy goes, I had nothing to do with that. I didn't know he was doing any of that stuff. I mean, nobody did. That's kind of why he came out, and everybody was kind of shocked.
Yeah, it is crazy though. But maybe in some way you exposing Jonathan Ross like stopped him from doing some shit to some child.
Well, I mean, that would be nice to think, yeah, because I do think Ross is dangerous in that way. I really do. I don't think it's all just bullshit talk on his part. I think he's a dude with rage issues, and I think he's a dude that probably shouldn't be around kids. And like his wanting to be like a teacher's assistant is insane when you say the stuff that he says online.
Yeah, I don't know how he could think that's conducive.
Yeah.
Let me. Yeah, that's just crazy. And then I guess the furry thing. I don't have it exactly straight in my head, but wasn't it one of the Internet Insanity furry episodes when you went down the rabbit hole of them like mutilating animals?
So with that one, you're talking about like the zoophile stuff,
Yeah,
right? With Kiro the Wolf, I think it is. So with that stuff, I actually got sent on Twitter from a former, I think it was Odd Guy. I think it was Odd Guy. It was a former sysop on ad. Linked me to something. He's like, "Have you seen these Telegram leaks?" And that's how I stumbled on that. And like the Cure the Wolf stuff and like the people involved in that were crazy. Like that was again, that was like really, if I had to rank it, on vileness, like, I mean, Ross would be at the bottom because again, it was another guy that went to prison, not Ross. And then you'd have like Nick Bates, who did terrible stuff, and then you'd have like the zoophile stuff where they're talking about like torturing and raping animals and molesting children. Like those logs were awful because like they were openly talking about molesting little kids and how they got away with it.
Jesus Christ, that's dark.
Yeah, and one of them did, I believe, get arrested and go to jail. I think it was Snake Thing, the one that was talking about molesting his like 5-year-old nephew.
Ugh.
And how he got away with it. So I believe the police did investigate him and did put him in prison. But the other ones were able to kind of weasel their way out of it, saying that Iranian hackers went into their Telegram or whatever it was.
And posted all the nasty stuff.
Right, yeah, they were hacked by the Iranians was the excuse at the time.
Those damn Iranians always posting my fucking
I know, right?
That's they're always getting you. How do people like that find each other? How do you find a fucking community of people that want to rip apart and rape animals? I mean, do you just casually throw that out one day?
I think what it is it's like it's almost like dipping your toe in the pool, right? So it's like a progression of social media that goes into private media. So you take something like a website like, I don't know, like DeviantArt, right? Which is, kind of a split between like just artists and then fetish stuff. And so somebody signs up for that website and, what happens? They start getting interested in the furry stuff. They start talking to people that are doing the furry stuff. And they're like, hey, you should come to this other website that's more specific to this, Fur Affinity or whatever, right? And so they keep getting led down that rabbit hole, right, where they get more and more isolated from the general populace and more specifically into that subculture until they find themselves on a very specific, Telegram or Discord or whatever, where they're only talking to 10 other people and they're all talking about this really heinous shit.
Yeah, I guess just a slippery slope you start to go down. Next thing you know, you're watching like squirrels get flayed and came on or something.
Yeah, but I think more than like, I mean, when you say like slippery slope in this context, it makes it seem like they were, unsuspecting that would happen. But I think that
they're like searching it out.
Yeah, they're definitely searching it out. But I mean, their journey to it has to go through like the open websites to the more, kind of private websites to then the specific social media, communication platforms.
Yeah, that shit is, ugh. So then after the furry shit, there's the well, I'm probably not getting this chronologically right, but the Monday Matt saga.
With Matt and the flagging stuff, yeah, I mean that was more like Killstream related because that was more directed at like Ralph getting flagged off of, I think it was YouTube at the time, and then having to go stream separately on, I believe it was DLive at the time, I can't even. No, it was a separate YouTube channel. Yeah, so he got flagged, or his stream went down. Started up another stream. Matt ends up coming on, and then Zidane gets him to show his flag history. And then you see like the Monday Matt thing where like he had flagged down a bunch of people that were criticizing him, and he ate shit for that for like 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, the
He
big
finally
reveal.
yeah, he got his revenge though in the end, I guess.
Well, with this latest stream with Ralph.
Yeah, he ended up chasing Ralph off. So yeah, he got his pound of flesh.
I mean, I think they need to have the rubber match, right? I feel like they're 1-1 right now.
You'd think, right? Yeah, I was kind of surprised Ralph ran for it. I thought he'd be, I don't know, because at the end of that stream, I was like, well, Matt, if your audience wants to ask questions, we'll just answer whatever, because I think it's done. But Ralph was like, no, let's all have a talk. And then the second Matt started going in on him, he just hauled ass out of there.
Yeah, that was that was a hilarious stream. I don't know what Ralph was thinking by pre-gaming with just copious amounts of alcohol.
It was a mistake. Yeah, for 2 hours he kept bringing up and saying, yeah, come on stream, come on stream, come on stream, over and over and over again. I agreed. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go on Flamenco stream with you. And he's like, no, let's go on this stream. I was like, well, I don't know who these people are. And so finally he's like, let's go on Matt's stream, which was a really weird non-sec, it was like out of left field. So I was like, okay, sure, if Matt'll do it. And Matt's like, yeah, why not? I think he made like $1,400 of just sitting there listening to Ralph and
Jesus.
Ralph drunkenly scream.
Jarbo with the win.
Yeah, so he made money, embarrassed Ralph, and then ran him off his streams. I think, yeah, he got his pound of flesh on that.
I remember watching the stream though. Whenever Monday Matt was like exposed, because he's trying to lie and keep up the facade that he's not flagging people.
Yeah. I mean,
That shit was gold.
Yeah, and then Zidane comes in basically, and he's like, well, there is a way to check your report history if you do this on YouTube. And then he shows it, and sure enough, it's every video you'd think it was.
Yeah, that shit was so gold. And then I guess now it's on to the next saga, kind of, after Mr. Metokur. What I guess it's kind of the cancer saga, right?
Oh, yeah, the most fun saga of all, yeah.
Yeah, the incredibly enjoyable, happy saga. So when did you first find out you had this illness?
Well, I got diagnosed with a lymphoma, I'd say about, it would have been 2 years now. Ended up going into a dermatologist who took a look at my scalp. Was like, yeah, that's a tumor. Let's do a biopsy. Did his biopsy, sent off the test. They stained it. It came back, and then I got to go through the whole wonderful process of PET scans and blood workups and all that shit.
And then there's also this autoimmune disorder of sorts that's coupled with the lymphoma.
Yeah, I mean that's what ended up fucking me. If it had just been the lymphoma, which it's not great on its own, right? B-cell lymphoma, but I could have dealt with it fairly okayish. But as they were doing all their testing and stuff, it was just they kept getting weird results. And it started off with obscure things that didn't really connect into the cancer. So I lost my appetite for 6 months and dropped about 45 pounds, couldn't eat. And then had like a weird pancreatic attack where the lipase level is just through the roof, and then the next day it's back down to normal. Kidneys started acting weird. They're getting weird creatinine levels. They're getting weird adrenal gland readings. And then it just goes back to normal. Blood pressure goes, hypertensive for 6 months and then back to normal for no reason. I ended up getting dissections in arteries. It's just a lot of really weird shit that doesn't fit in with cancer, and a lot of really weird shit that doesn't fit in with this is the autoimmune we believe you have. So they ran a bunch of tests to try to figure it out. I had to go through Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, went to all their specialties, they did all their stuff, and at the end of it, they were like, we don't know what this is. We're going to put you in something called Diagnostic Odyssey, and we're going to do genetic testing to try to figure it out. So, it's kind of... It's jumping from one thing to the next because the symptoms are all over the place. Like I've lost hearing, I've lost eyesight. So they try to treat what they think could be the autoimmune. With the ear, they think it's autoimmune inner ear disorder. So they're like, we're going to put you on a shit ton of prednisone. With the eye thing, they're like, it could be outer ocular palsy. It could be this muscle disease. It could be this nerve disease. We want to do more CTAs, more MRAs. We want to do these tests and these tests, but it wears you down, man. Like you're kind of running in to do this shit all the time. Like you're making trips up to go do all this stuff. And you're like, can I just, can we just take a break? I ended up asking the hematologist. I was like, if you think it's an autoimmune disease and you don't know what it is, and I've got the cancer issue, can't you just combine both treatments and just say, let's just go with our best guess and hit it as hard as we can and hope that it clears it up? And they're almost at that point. So I don't know, which means they'll just put me on different what are they called, biologics, and give me basically, it's like a split between kind of a chemotherapy and then a high dose steroid treatment. But yeah, so it's just been shit, to be honest with you. But I don't know, you adapt and then you just deal with it as best you can, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a good visit to the doctor's?
Who doesn't love a good cancer saga? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. I'm sorry you're going through that. And dude, when doctors fucking don't know everything. Like they can give you the wrong shit. They're essentially just testing what they think is wrong with you, and the medicine they're giving you is probably causing shitty symptoms as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the people at Mayo are
Doing their best.
Yeah, they're really nice, and my general practitioner is really good about trying to work with me, and but I mean, it's weird when you go to, like, because you have to understand, these people aren't just like doctors. These are the guys that write white papers and teach the courses for other doctors. So it's weird to sit down with them after going through the testing process and have them say, we don't know what the fuck is going on. We check for JAK2 mutations, we check for this, we check for that. We don't understand what's happening, but we have the blood results. We can see the imaging results, and we can clearly see something is really fucking wrong, but we don't understand the mechanism behind it. So is it just a bunch of different diseases all commingling and hitting at once? Is it one overarching thing? Is it a genetic thing? And so it's just, it's the not knowing, I think, that's the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And then you couple that in with, because of COVID, half the specialists that you would go to see are shut down half the time. So it's like you try to, you schedule an appointment, like getting into rheumatology, right? And that's 5 months out. And then when you're going to go see them, they have to shut down again. So it's another 4 months out. And it's such a pain in the ass. And that's even doing it through Mayo. So
hopefully you have good health insurance, right?
Yeah, that's been fun. Yeah, no, it's it's good medical care in America, but it's expensive medical care in America.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from being a teacher where my health insurance is paid for to now having to pay out of pocket, and that's why my medical insurance is fucking terrible. But it still costs like $300 a month, and it doesn't cover shit until I have a horrific accident.
Yeah. When you look at deductibles and everything else that goes into the different plans that you can get, if you're not going through like an employer, it can be some wild shit. But with the cancer stuff and the illness shit, I don't know. I mean, I got sick, and then I got freaked out because I couldn't figure out what it was for a while. So I just stopped doing internet shit for a while, for like a year. And then they still don't know what it is, but I've gotten so used to nobody knowing what the fuck's going on that I guess I've adapted.
It's your new normal, right?
You adapt pretty quick. Yeah, I remember being a kid and hearing people who've lost an arm or something talk about it, and they're like, yeah, you get used to it. I always thought, that's weird. How would you get used to it? But you really do. No matter how weird the shit is or bizarre it is, you really do just get used to it after a while.
And were the coronavirus streams the last thing before the cancer hiatus, or?
Yeah, so I mean, I covered the coronavirus stuff from January to March, so it was like the very beginning. I think it had just kind of started spreading in Italy by the time I stopped doing those streams, and that was around the time that I started feeling sicker, and kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And yeah, I think I did a guest appearance with PPP on one stream and a guest appearance with somebody else on another stream. But as far as content I was doing, yeah, that was the end of it. And I got sick and I was like, I don't fucking care about this shit. I gotta kind of focus on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you were early. You were early on the front of the coronavirus thing. That was very early. You had me talking to my mom and dad there's something bad happening and
there's something coming down the road.
And they didn't nobody believe me. I'm like, fuck, dude.
It was so weird, yeah. Because I mean, when that first broke, right? China locked down half the country, and you're talking 750 million people. It was so crazy. And then it started to spread everywhere, and you're going off the history of SARS and MERS, and you're like, shit, where is this gonna go? And then my own sickness and my own shit kind of came up, and I was like, well, I gotta deal with this now. And of course, right at the height of it, right? So right as COVID becomes the biggest issue, I've got to go through the biggest medical system in the state, well, potentially the country, because Mayo's pretty huge, and just deal they're freaked out on their end, just even having people come through. You got people from all over the world there. So it was a surreal fucking experience.
Is that a coincidence, you think? I mean, we have Jim on coronavirus's ass, and the next thing you know, he has an indescribable autoimmune disorder.
Yeah, there you go. The Chinese got mad at me for constantly bringing up the Virology Institute that was down the street from that wet market. Decided to take me out. There you are.
Man, what a nightmare. And then now you're semi back. You're semi out of retirement, right? We have modern day Metokur, who's
Yeah, like I said, I've adjusted as much as I can. The issue's kind of still ongoing. Um, I just kind of want to enjoy, I think, the internet for what I can. Because I mean, outside of like the illness stuff and all the other stuff, it just feels like what made the internet so fun is kind of disappearing. Everything's become very rule focused. People can't make jokes really anymore or interact the way they want to. The videos that you would have seen on YouTube 10 years ago, you're never going to see again on YouTube. The jokes that you could have told on Twitter 5 years ago or on Facebook 5 years ago, you can't tell those anymore. I mean, I don't even use Discord, but from what I understand, if you have a Discord and you say something somebody doesn't like, they'll just wipe your entire account, your Discord, everything.
I love that.
Right? So, I mean, it sucks, right? And so I want to enjoy the little bit of it that's left while it's still here. Because I really do think in 10 or 20 years, when you try to explain to a kid what anonymity was on the internet, they're not going to believe it. They're going to be like, how could you be anonymous on the internet? That's crazy.
No, you got to have Suzanne's got to suck your dick before you can actually make an account anywhere now. Anonymous.
Anonymous, yeah. How could you be anonymous? How could you say mean things to people without being arrested? That's insane.
What about Suzanne? That fucking bitch. No, I think it's incredible because back in the day, and you've talked a lot of the stuff we've talked about on the stream. You've talked about before, just in different places. But back in the day, being anonymous was the regular thing on the internet, right? Like you wouldn't want to be outed or doxxed. Everyone was anonymous.
Well, yeah, I mean that was considered basic netiquette, right? Like you don't tell people what your name is, you don't tell them where you live, you don't tell them your phone number, your job, your school, you don't put pictures of yourself or your family up. Like you create a persona, a username that's not associated to who you are, and then you use that username on one specific website and you create different usernames for each website. That was so basic, right? That it's really weird now because everything's interconnected, right? The kid that has a YouTube channel links to his Facebook, his Instagram, his TikTok, that all has, friends and likes from his family, his school. Like it takes you 5 seconds to find out their full name, their address, their phone number, what they look like, who they are, what they've done. It's like a total permanent record, and it's night and day from how it used to be.
Yeah, now you have jackasses like me with my full government name and where I went to college, where I'm from. I have people messaging my dad on Facebook and shit.
Well, this was mostly the idea was built around safety for kids, right? Like you tell kids, like junior high and high school age, like, yeah, you protect your information. That was like drilled into your head. And it made sense.
Oh yeah.
Like you look at it now, it's really predatory on the internet if you're a kid. Like, you hear about like all this grooming shit in Discord gangs, right? To kind of touch on a recent event. But like, back then everybody thought, oh, well, you're talking to strangers, you got to protect yourself. So obviously you're not going to tell them who you are. But kids nowadays are like, oh, now I want to be a Minecraft live streamer at the age of 8 years old. And here's I'm going to be on camera all day.
Yes, you have Call Me Carson fucking pulling up in the predatory Discord van asking me to hop in so he can groom me into sending pictures of my little wiener.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I love that. No, but it is fascinating, and a lot of the people we've talked about. They aren't around anymore. The internet half-life is not that long, and you've
you're essentially done. I've noticed that again. It's just subjective, but at least what I've noticed is if you get big or even moderate sized, you're there for 5 years, maybe 10 if you're like cream of the crop, right? Like if you've got a hook that can last, like AVGN or something. But most people, you kind of have a rise and fall in a 5-year arc, and then you're done.
Yeah, and you fizzle out. And then, when you're like me and you have videos of you getting drunk, being a fucking retard on the internet, then you can never get a job again. So
That's always great. Yeah, then the boss can always take a look at all the dumb shit you do, so he knows that you're skipping out when you call in sick.
But hey, you can't dox me, Jim. At least you can't dox me because I'm already doxed.
You're dox proof? Yeah.
It's great. Now, I think thinking about it, in the grand scheme of things, it would be a lot more comfortable just to be anonymous and not have to worry about all that comes with your full name on the internet.
I think too, it just made people more open. I mean, you're taking away like YouTube, right, and like the social media stuff we use right now. Just even going back to like older forums or message boards, just being able to talk to people and just say whatever the fuck you want without an identity tied to it was pretty freeing, right? You could really say what you thought. You could make the jokes you always wanted to make, and you had a good time. Now you can't do that anymore because everybody wants to cancel your ass, right? Or they want to pin that on you for the rest of your life. Some kid says something stupid in 7th grade, and now he's getting kicked out of Harvard
Yeah.
because somebody found it, right? I mean, it's really dumb.
Don't get me wrong, Jim. I don't say any nasty words. I'm a good guy. You can trust me. But it is funny how in every dark corner of the internet, when people are actually allowed to say what they want, it's all there's a lot of N words, a lot of F words. There's a lot of when you can say what you want, people typically tend to say some pretty crazy shit.
Yeah, I think it reverts back to just how people are. Like, there's a group. Let me see if I can remember the name of it. FIRE, right? I think it's Foundation for Individual Rights in Education. So it's like a group that would defend college students when their campus would screw with them. It leans more conservative, right? But the guy that ran it, this little old Jewish guy, talked about what it was like being in the Bronx when he was a kid. And he's like, yeah, we used to stick our head out the window and scream obscenities at each other. And he's like, that was just kind of how the neighborhood was. Like nobody was hypersensitive. You could just talk however you wanted. And I feel like that's kind of how the internet was when anonymity was the biggest part of it, is you'd stick your head out the window and scream obscenities at each other, but it was fun. Now everybody wants to use that as like a cudgel. Like how now it's how behaved can I be? And how can I make fun of people in the, prescribed way, in the appropriate way that'll get me ass pats and get them in trouble. And it's just become weird.
Well, yeah, it's like it's a tattletale off. I'm so nice, but look at him, he's bad, and yeah, it's complete bullshit.
Yeah, it's really become the I'm going to tell the teacher mentality, right? You're like in the classroom, you remember the kid, that one kid that was like, I'm going to tattle. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it's become on all these different platforms. And it just it sucks the fun out of the room, I think.
But it's not natural. I mean, it's the way they've curated it to be. Like if it was a natural thing, the internet would be how it was in its heyday.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd agree with that. I mean, look at Twitter and the evolution that's gone through, right? I mean, you had a platform where you could tweet whatever you wanted, and sure, stuff got took down, right? But for the most part, people could be rude and make terrible jokes, and it was fun for a while. But with each iteration and update, a new group of people that came into the company and the new terms of service, you started getting shadow banning, you started getting lists, you started getting accounts that would be throttled. Now they've got this downvote system that's hidden, which I'm sure has something to do with interaction. So it's, can we take you out of feeds? Can we take you out of interactions? Can we just make you disappear? And all you're left with are these people that are approved. So they can be malicious, but they're approved, right? And they're being mean in the appropriate way. And it just, yeah, like I said, it sucks the fun out of it. And then one of the things that sucks is all the alternatives that get set up. They all become very political, right? So it's either super left wing, super right wing. I just want a place where I can go and we can call each other slurs, and everybody, it's all fair game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not even possible in this day and age. I guess there's Cozy or something, Cozy TV.
You got Cozy. That's Fuentes. You've got
Parler shut down, right?
Yeah, you've got Gab, which was Torba. But I mean, everybody. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a ton of faith in it, because it just feels like, again, it's going to become. I don't know. It's more of we set this up as a reaction to what was happening, so because of that, we're going to lean more one way than the other. What I'd love to see is somebody who had the money or financing or tech skill, just to create a website where like everything is fair game. There is no slant to it, as long as it's not illegal. Have fun. But I think that's never going to happen anymore.
And it's also funny that you're like touted in some people's minds as like this far right wing person when that's like literally not even the case, really. Like
I like part of what I really like about the internet is arguments, because they're entertaining, and you can't have arguments, right, if you segregate too much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed like having streams like Destiny, right? I mean, he's more left leaning than I am. We had a stream, it was fun. We shit talked each other on Twitter, it was fun, and then he ended up getting banned, and it sucked because now I can't interact with him anymore.
He got banned by the fucking transsexual woman recently, yeah.
Yeah, that's more recent, but this is even further back. And so, yeah, I want to be able to art. You can't, if you moderate too much, right, to try to create a marketable environment where people can sell Toyotas, and everybody's nice and they're well behaved. Nobody's ever going to talk and have fun and just argue about whatever they want to argue about. I don't really care what your politics are. I just want to have and enjoy arguing with you, right? And that's part of, again, what made anonymity fun is you never knew who you were talking to. You could be arguing with the same person 1,000 times in a row or a completely different person. It was just you had no way of parsing through it.
Yeah, I guess, and even nowadays, like, being anonymous isn't even a way that you can have free speech because they just shut you down.
Yeah. I mean, and you brought up Destiny too, like with what's going on right now. So I believe what he said was something fairly banal. Essentially, men shouldn't compete in women's sports, right? He's talking about, like, transsexual athletes. But that was, I guess, the line in the sand. This person decided he needed to be destroyed for that. And so they took credit for getting him banned on Twitch. And then they started going after him on Twitter, the whole ratio thing.
Yeah.
But now that person has all this weird Discord stuff that's coming out about underage catboys and callers. So I don't know where that's going to go, but it'll be entertaining to watch.
That's great. So wait, he just said that that big jacked swimmer woman shouldn't be allowed to compete.
Yeah, he echoed the sentiment that I've heard from a lot of female athletes. I'd say at like the high school or college level, where they feel it's unfair. They're like, how can I compete against somebody who's formerly male, right? Because they're going to have a physical advantage over me in whatever sport we're playing. So he said, yeah, he said it was ridiculous or something to that effect. But they got really, really mad about that.
Nah, hell no. Fuck those white colonizing bitches.
Let
the brother compete. I think it's great. It's one of the, this is one of those topics. So if you talk about this Leah transgender woman who's competing, it's been shown, I guess, by Destiny that if you disagree that she shouldn't be allowed to compete, then you can get banned, right?
Yeah, essentially.
So
yeah.
then, fuck, dude. Yeah. What's the right opinion? Let me see. No, she shouldn't. She should be allowed to compete, right? Am I good, Susan? Am I cool?
Well, yeah, and that's one of the weird things too about Twitch. Like it's gone further and further down the rabbit hole of that. Like it's got to be a prescribed form of speech and one opinion that's held by the people in power. And if you even disagree in a nice way, right? You don't say slurs. You don't make jokes. You just say, "Hey, I think." You're still shit kicked. You're canned off of there, and at the same time, you've got chicks showing their tits off and taking baths.
No, it's like here's a gentle intellectual point. You disagree with the mainstream narrative, and you're done. It's like when I was in college. Like when you're writing these papers to these professors, because I got a master's in education. I can't write whatever I want. I have to write a tailored opinion because I need to pass these classes.
Yeah, you said it was for education, right?
Yeah, Master's of Arts in Education.
Yeah. Did you enjoy, because I went through a similar program for a bachelor's, did you enjoy, maybe this was just at my time, and, I guess it could vary from different, university to university, where they had, they would sit you down, because I was looking at, like, elementary as my age range, right?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, so they were like, well, we need to talk about, like, how you pick curriculum, how the school district picks its curriculum, and we're going to have you analyze the books, right, that we would, hypothetically might be using for the year. But can you tell me how many times they talk about black people in this historical event, or trans people, or gay people?
Where's the representation?
Yeah, it was a checklist, and if it didn't have enough representation, it wasn't allowed. It was a bad book.
Like a literal chart.
And I'm like, well, how the fuck is the signing of? Like, where am I going to find a black transsexual woman at the signing of the Declaration of Independence? It's like I feel a little lost here with what you're trying to get me to do.
Oh, my education program was fucking crazy. But again, like there's a lot of this stuff that I don't talk about or whatever because it would be fun and great to talk about if I could, but I see the landscape and it's like you have one opinion. If you don't share that opinion, then you fuck your future up. You get deleted off social media. You can't make money. Whatever. So it's like I just hate this how it's set up. It's complete bullshit.
I agree.
And the education it's like filtering out. Like, there's a lot of people that probably couldn't even make it through an education program, not because of it's difficult, just because of like the brainwashing attempts they're making on you that are like obvious. You're like, this is ridiculous. At one point, I had to do like a checklist. It was not a checklist. It was a chart. I still have the document somewhere. It was like a chart about what I used to think about all these groups: gay people, Native Americans, black people, Jewish people, whatever. Where I learned those things, how I corrected those thoughts, and like where I learned to correct those thoughts. So it was like I had to admit that I was racist towards everybody and had preconceived negative things, and then explain like how I got over it. Like, is that not the most like rigged assignment of all time?
Yeah, I like that it's moved. I mean, it's moved past just like the idea of brainwashing. They want you to thank them for it afterwards. right? They want to change your viewpoint forcibly, and then make you say thank you afterwards. That's kind of what that kind of assignment says to me. I mean, and then the other thing that really pissed me off when I went through like this program is they didn't care about kids.
Hell no.
That really blew my mind when I saw what the bureaucracy was like. When I had kids who were writing in the third grade their letters and numbers backwards and couldn't spell words, and I knew, that's a benchmark, right? When they talk about reading or literacy, kind of going forward, the age cutoffs for when you really need to do something and intervene. And so, I'm talking to the people and I'm like, well, couldn't we set up maybe like an after school thing and volunteer to kind of help catch them up? And they're like, no, we can't do that. And then I sit in on a meeting where they're talking about, we just got $10 million for iPads. And I'm like, okay, so you're not going to help the kid learn how to read and write, but you're going to spend 10 million bucks on iPads. I'm sure that's going to have proprietary software, right? That's going to cost even more money. And none of that's going to help them get where they need to be, so they're not, flunking out of high school 10 years from now.
I mean, as long as he can get a diamond sword in Minecraft, I don't really give a shit, Jim, if he can read or write.
It was a wild experience. The bureaucracy was just I remember talking to one of my professors about it. He told me about his wife, who was a kindergarten teacher, crying, coming home from work, talking about just how fucking awful it had become.
It gets bad, and obviously, I'm not going to ask if you went through with it and became a teacher, but I did finish my master's and become an actual teacher from Montgomery County, Maryland, and it was ridiculous. I always say this. I've said it a bunch of times on the internet. My biggest complaint was that there was no punishment for the kids. Growing up at home, if you do something bad, you get grounded. There's usually some negative repercussion that comes from misbehaving, right? I mean, that's how kids learn, and the school I was at, you couldn't take away kids' recess. There was no lunch detention. There was no after-school detention. All you could do was call their parents. But obviously, if a second grader is throwing scissors and saying bad words and not doing his assignment, obviously his parents are fucked up, right? So my one line of communication is to fix his behavior is talk to his parents. His parents don't give a fuck, right? So it's just a nightmare situation where it was all right, this kid can do whatever he wants. There's no lunch detention. If I'm thinking about it from this kid's perspective, why would he even listen? Right?
They're not going to. There's no repercussion. Yeah, during my practicum, right, we had one little girl, who knew this. So she would get up on the desk and kick stuff around the room and scream and use slurs. And she knew she was untouchable. Untouchable. You could do nothing. Right? There was no repercussion for that behavior. And everybody else in the classrooms was just screwed. They're fucked, right? What are you going to do?
Yeah, why wouldn't you act like that? I mean, if I could go on YouTube and just fuck off and never post a video and do whatever and still get paid the same amount or still get the same amount of growth, I would do it, right? You're incentivized by negative things happening, right? I post a shitty video, it gets shitty views. I want to make a good video. Everything in life, there's negative repercussions, and you strip that away from a child. It's my God.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just it reached a point where it wasn't just that teachers were informed that they can't really intervene for misbehavior. It's where kids figured this out. That's when it really became a shit show.
Yeah.
Once the kids figured it out, of course they're going to be like, well, what are you going to do to me? Of course they're going to do whatever they want. They're kids.
My school would actually do this thing that if a kid was disruptive enough, he wouldn't have to engage in the assignment. He could just have a computer and be in the back of the class. Which it's dude, I'm taking the computer route every day. If I was a kid, I'm saying fuck you to this teacher till I get my computer, and I'm gaming.
Right. And then, so it was funny to me to kind of watch all this stuff kind of play out, right? The talk about money, what they were going to dedicate time to, how they deal with misbehavior, what kind of programs they were going to run, what kind of curriculum they had. And then, talk to people in the program and be like, okay, well, what happens 10 years from now, right? This is how you're treating it now, but what do you foresee them being like in high school? Are they going to go to college? And every one of them was like, "Oh no, they're never gonna. We'll pass them." So we get the because they had a specific, at least in Minnesota, they had a specific list in the school district for how many students of each demographic that they needed to pass. That's all they cared about.
Meet the
so
quota.
as long as those boxes were ticked, they didn't care. So yeah, I actually quit the program. I had enough credits just to take my bachelor's, general bachelor's, and just walk away. So I wasted all that time going through this into a profession I thought I was going to love, having this idealistic viewpoint of what it was going to be like. It's going to be great, inform the minds of the future kind of thing. And just seeing the brutal reality of nobody gives a shit. They only care about quotas. It's a big money game, and they just want to kick the can down the road until it becomes a big issue later on, as long as it's not their problem, right? And I'm like, there's no way I can. There's literally nothing I can do about this. I'm going to be chewed up and spit out and be like that dude's wife crying because I'm fucking powerless.
Oh, come on, don't be black pill, Jim. Dedicate your life to the misery and the insanity.
Oh, jeez, yeah, no. So it was eye opening. The one thing I got out of that entire thing is I think that job shadowing should be
Illegal?
uh, no, I think job shadowing should be required. So when you go to college and you say I want to do this, I think the college should pay for and put you through a week or two of job shadowing so you can see the absolute reality of it, so you don't waste 4 years, like I did, getting to that point and being like, oh shit, I made a mistake.
Oh, I say a job shadowing should be illegal because I had to do 134 full work days as an intern, um, unpaid, which was like, god
Are,
damn.
are we talking like practicum, or is this outside of the? Is this
This
for
is
the
for my
masters?
master's, yeah.
Okay, that's brutal.
It was so much, and it was so hellish, and so much of it was just me. Like, I mean, I guess you need to have the experience. Whatever. I'm not going to complain about it, but it was man, at least $3 an hour or something, so I can get a fucking chicken biscuit or something.
Yeah, yeah. They all. I love the attitude too from a lot of universities and colleges where it's well, you'll figure it out. We're gonna put you in a situation that's gonna financially kind of fuck you up your ass, but you'll figure it out. It's not really our problem.
Yeah, you're paying. I know you're paying us $20,000, but can you just work for free? And we're not really going to teach you. You're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I love that attitude, by the way. Like, I'm paying for the service, but yet I'm still treated like they're giving me charity. You know what I mean? That always drove me nuts.
No, yeah,
Like, no other business operates that way. I don't walk into a car lot to buy a vehicle and then have them treat me like shit and be like, well, you should be thanking us.
yeah.
No, I'm paying you for something. What are you talking about?
Yeah, these like asshole, arrogant teachers that are fucking abusing their power on you.
Yeah, it was, yeah, I think too, I guess I'm glad I went through it when I did, because I bet it's even worse now. I bet it's even worse if you're going through it right now, for the kind of hellish shit you've got to deal with.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, so when I was going through even my art degree, it's like this. It's the same thing. Like Trump was in office during my last years of getting my art degree, and it was like everyone in my class is talking about Trump, right? And I'm not some like hardcore like right wing Trump dude, but it's like maybe I want to fucking give a counterpoint to these people, but my God, if you do that, you're going to be like hung in the town square.
Yeah.
I hate when
Yeah,
you're in a
you're gonna be
situation where
marked.
everyone's talking about something and agreeing on the same topic, but if you like were to offer a counterpoint, it's like then you're going to get destroyed. I just hate that situation.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the idea of like the old-fashioned concept of a liberal education, which meant like a great kind of breadth of stuff, and different thoughts and ideas being put forward, that's dead. Like, yeah, there are opinions you're never going to be allowed to express in any kind of degree field that you want to enter, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's education, business, art, whatever.
I feel like this shouldn't be allowed to talk. I mean, if we're gonna do this whole fucking theatrics, I feel like if I'm a student, my teacher shouldn't be allowed to talk about political stuff. It's kind of how I feel.
I would think it'd be great if it was just teach the fucking subject, right? I agree with you. Like, if I'm going to a math class, just teach me math, right? That seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
If I'm paying for a business class, teach me business. If it's an art class, show me how to paint, But it's not that. They always infuse it, right? But that's because of that intersectionality stuff that's become like the underpinning.
Intersectionality, dude. Thank you for using that great
Yeah.
word.
Right? That's the underpinning of it all now, though. So it can't just be a math class or an art class or an English class or whatever. Everything is, intersectional. Now everything touches on everything else. So now, when we're talking about verbs, we also have to talk about racism for some reason.
Yeah, that stuff's beautiful. And then remember the mantra that they had at one point, "Silence is violence." That was very groundbreaking. I was like, "That's why you people won't shut the fuck up." Okay.
That's right. If you abstain from voicing your opinion, then you are agreeing with the point we're arguing against. Right? It's very, what is it called? A Kafka trap, where if you don't answer, you're guilty, but if you do answer, it proves your guilt. So
Yeah.
it's a no-win situation.
The old witch trick. We're gonna throw them in the fucking water, see if they sink or not. But yeah, that shit's unbearable. So let's look here. I guess we've covered our bases pretty good on the Metokur lore. Obviously, it goes incredibly deep. You could talk about any of these topics for fucking hours, but
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fun forum while it lasted, where you got to laugh at really goofy shit. But the admin decided he wanted to change his life and delete everything, so it went the way of history.
come on, Haberman, you could have just been gay and funny. You didn't have to choose.
Right? That I'll never understand that. One of the other guys that I still kept in touch with, Nervitel, didn't get it either. He was like, he couldn't really figure out why Haberman thought that. I mean, yeah, we would have made jokes about him sucking dick or something, but that would have been the same as every other joke we made, you know. So I don't know why he really, I don't know, maybe he went super political and thought like, oh, it's more than just gay. You know, I'm super liberal now, right? And
It's more than just gay.
It's more than just gay, and they'll hate me because I'm not conservative. I don't know, you know, but while he was around, he was a funny guy. I don't know why he decided to change like that, but he did.
Yeah, who's one of your favorite people you've covered in all your internet days? Like someone that comes to my mind who I really like, Terry Davis.
Yeah, I like Terry Davis. Like his operating system was wild. His whole story was wild. He was a pretty funny guy. He was pretty well adjusted, but he had a lot of people screw with him. You know, I don't know if they're, you know, people just browsing G or if it was a group that was dedicated to it, but they'd like spoof emails and screw with them a little too much, in my opinion. But Terry was a fun guy with a wild story. That's like a guy that has raw talent, who, if he didn't have like that mental issue, you know that he would have been really successful in tech, right? Like he would have been a guy that probably would have done something crazy, not crazy as in insane, but like crazy as in, oh, that's a really brilliant approach to like some kind of piece of software or hardware. But yeah, I think he was always handicapped by that, you know, his mental illness. So it was a really fascinating story to kind of watch this guy and kind of see that like he was still, even with his condition, struggling to do something. And he came out with, you know, Temple OS, which is just crazy and amazing in itself.
Yeah, I mean, you call it a mental illness, I call it a superpower, because I think that those CIA motherfuckers were on his ass.
His tweets were so wild, and that's another thing. Like, you know, I don't think you could have a Terry Davis now, right? Like, there with just one of those tweets, he'd be gone. You know?
Yeah, he was. I don't know what schizophrenia does to you, but you start kicking some serious bars.
Yeah, he was really throwing them out there, man.
Oh man, I'd love to hear a hip hop track by Terry Davis.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Well, he did. He used the drum. There's some dancing videos of Terry and, you know, doing some drums and stuff. Yeah, laying down some tracks.
He's a hip hopper. I didn't know that. But yeah, who else comes to mind besides Terry Davis? Some of your, you know, funny people that you talked about.
Like just as far as like interesting stuff that's gone on the internet. I mean, it mostly comes down to groups, right? So you'd have stuff like, again, I found Tumblr just fascinating. I found DeviantArt fascinating.
Yeah, DeviantArt. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, because I mean, the people on DeviantArt, again, you've got like, it's just, I feel bad. There are some artists on DeviantArt and other, you know, art websites that are super talented, like can really draw really well, but they can't find work, and so they're forced to draw like inflation furry porn to pay their rent. And I feel so bad for those motherfuckers, man.
No, I swear to God, I know a dude when I was he was a what are they called? Teacher's assistants, right? Like it was a paraeducator. That's what they're called. There was a paraeducator at one of the schools I taught at that was one of those dudes that was an incredible artist, but he was working as a paraeducator and he didn't have a career in art, but he would like draw like sexualized images he didn't even want to draw because he could get paid. And I knew this dude like personally, and he was like very autistic, incredible artist though. Shout out to Halethorpe Elementary, if I may say that. Frank, my homie. I don't know if I should have said that, but no one cares. No one cares.
Well, and you know, the other crazy thing too is like, you know, I think a lot of them, again, were forced to kind of draw this artwork to survive. And then you know, kind of later on comes Patreon, where they can make real money doing what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a group of like, you know, talented starving artists that had to draw furry porn for like a decade. And now they get to look at all these 18-year-olds that are making $100,000 a fucking month on Patreon doing what they love. And I bet they hate that.
Yeah, they're probably super resentful.
Yeah.
Now, shout out Patreon. You actually got shit canned off Patreon. So how the fuck does that happen? Is it like, does it happen in a wave of? Because I've seen your shit detailing how YouTube, you know, gave you these ridiculous strikes when you already had unlisted your shit or privatized your shit, right?
Yeah. So the Patreon thing happened first. That was from the Transtastic Tales videos I did. So I did a video that I knew couldn't go on YouTube, so I put it up on BitChute. And somebody at Patreon saw it and didn't like it, and that was the end of my Patreon, and that's why. And then I started getting, I got a strike on one of my videos. I can't remember what it was, but there was a strike on one of my YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, this is, they're going to try to just completely shut me down. So my idea was, they can't, like you were like, oh, I can't be doxxed because I'm I'm already doxxed, right?
Yeah.
My image is out there. So I was like, well, you can't strike my videos if I don't have any videos.
Yeah.
So I took down all my videos, and I was like, now let's see what you're going to do, Susan. And they still hit my channel. Yeah, they still hit my channel. They're like, oh, you're reusing assets from somebody else, but there are no videos there.
I love, Susan doesn't play by the rules. Jim, you silly motherfucker. Okay?
She's a wild card. You can't contain her. Is once she gets that Franzia in her, she's off to the races.
That harlot.
Yeah, so they struck the channel for that, and then they demonetized it. And I'm like, okay, I'll play along. I'm going to do weather videos. I'm going to do weather videos where it's just my voice, and I do stick figure drawings in MS Paint, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it worked. I got remonetized, and my channel came back.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody was like, "That's never gonna work. They're never gonna remonetize and they're not gonna fix your channel because you do stupid weather videos, Jim. That's the dumbest thing possible." It totally worked.
Weatherman Jim passes all expectations.
That's right. Yeah. If they come after your channel, just remember weather videos and MS Paint's it's the way to go. It works.
Yeah, I don't know, like if I've done anything bad to cross the line and get destroyed, but it's gonna be a horrible day when they delete my shit because I got everything riding on this. I don't make money anywhere else.
Well, it comes in a wave. I mean, it does come in a wave because right after Patreon it was YouTube, and once before that too, this had happened where they tried taking down like my Facebook, Twitter, YouTube all at once. I love how they say like all these different companies never communicate. They totally do because it's the people that work at them that know each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got that one reversed, and then I got the more recent one reversed. So I mean, I'll do a live stream occasionally, but if I wanted to do a video, I'd have to put it up on like a BitChute or Odyssey or what was it, Cozy, or somewhere else. There's be no way for me to put it on YouTube because everything is over the line now.
Yeah, you think when you post some of your regular content, it's just done immediately?
Oh, if I try to do like a new Black History Month video, or if I try to do like a new Tumblrisms video, or like a Internet Insanity video, or just any of that stuff, because I mean it's gone. They have so many new rules in place that are like it's gone beyond using slurs and being aggressive. It's like if you're just mean, they can take your stuff down now.
Yeah, and the rules do not seem to be overtly clear.
No. I mean, I know YouTube said, "Oh, we're gonna post an updated terms of service that more explicitly explains what's going on," but I don't know. It's just I don't understand what's going on at Alphabet, and Google and YouTube. It's funny to watch the original co-founders of the website leave comments occasionally because they have over the years saying, "If we'd known it'd be like this, we wouldn't have sold."
Yeah.
So I don't think this is how they envisioned it either. They probably, but who cares? I mean, they're billionaires, so what do they give a shit?
What do you think is in store for you? I mean, have the doctors told you any kind of? They have no idea what's going on. Are they like, you could be rocking for the next 20 years, or is it like you're kind of fucked?
Well, I mean, it's degenerative in the fact that it's a loss of function, right? So hearing loss, vision loss, that kind of stuff. Is it deadly? They don't know. The cancer in itself, treatable. You could have a good prognosis with that, but I don't know. If it's some weird fucked up genetic thing, who knows? So I'll just, like I said, try to navigate that minefield while they're still, off and on about the pandemic, and while they're, Biden and Putin are banging dicks against each other. So, who knows what goes on with that? But it's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen. What's the future of the Mr. Metokur channel? It's interesting.
I don't know. Even if I were still putting out content, I'll put it this way: even if I was still putting out content regularly, and Susan wasn't screwing with me, and I had like a special pass, I've already hit like I said, you got like 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've already hit that. So my wave is done. I mean, it's really what's the next guy gonna do, and how long can they kind of perpetuate and keep going? Because there are a lot of people putting out really great stuff that have to like walk through the minefield now of what's acceptable or unacceptable. I'd be more interested in like what is YouTube going to be like in 5 years? Can you even sustain it that long? Trying to do it fresh and starting brand new.
Yeah. No, I'm very curious what the state of the internet's going to be like in 5 years. What YouTube's going to be like. Yeah,
I think they're going to do the Real ID thing. I think that's going to be like I think it'll be back end, right? So I think maybe it's implemented at like an ISP level, but it will be, we need your ID, and then when you sign up for an account, you can use a username, but we have in our records that that username is tied to this identity.
You think, and then hate speech is going to be like a punishable offense by law?
I don't know if it'll like. I envision like it's baby steps when it comes to controlling kind of stuff like this. So I think Real ID is going to be a thing. It'll be back ended, and I think that will become accepted as the norm over the next 5 years. And then I think they'll start to kind of come in with the, oh, by the way, this is now illegal, or by the way, this is now not allowed, after you're already kind of screwed and you've given them your ID.
My God. Yeah, I'm very curious as to what's going to happen. I don't feel that optimistic about my future on the internet because I'm 26 right now. I can't imagine I'll be able to make shit when I'm like 30.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to have to be like mass appeal stuff, right? And you're not going to be able to talk about certain stuff. I mean, I think that's the only way. It's going to be. I don't even know. It's just It really has become like sterilized so people can sell Toyotas. And nobody says mean things to each other. So I don't have like a super optimistic viewpoint, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'll enjoy it while it lasts. It's still fun right now, so might as well ride it down in flames,
Yeah, but laughing at absurdities that's almost like a fucking watered down like Tosh.0 ridiculousness. The whole finding something ridiculous, some internet subculture, some weird thing tucked away and laughing at it, making fun of it. There's always going to be an audience for that shit. It just sucks, I guess. YouTube and the internet.
Yeah, it's human nature, right? I mean, it's almost hardwired into us. There's always going to be an audience for people that want to look at something that's just bizarre and have a laugh, or be like, what the hell is going on? It's just kind of part of what we are. And so, yeah, it is kind of weird seeing them stifle that because it just seems counterintuitive, I guess.
Yeah, I think you get the raw end of the stick because, I don't know. I guess you've just said the bad words you're not supposed to say, but you're not like your MO is not to be political and drive people to the right wing or be some. If you're watching my shit, I'm trying to convince you or coerce you into my political leanings.
Well, I mean, I do. I've always been open that I'm conservative and I lean right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I don't think that necessarily is something that's necessary when you're talking about, hey, look at this furry who shit himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's more of like, look at this is kind of like an absurdity, right? And that's what's entertaining about it. We don't need to it doesn't have to be political to laugh at a furry that poops himself. It doesn't have to be political to, look at these communities or individuals and be like, this is really screwed up or this is bizarre. So I guess that's my take on it.
Yeah, get a hoot out of it. Shout out Randy Stair in fucking murder situations.
Yeah, that was a wild one too. The whole I'm going to reincarnate as a female ghost was just so bizarre.
Yeah, and those animations he made, they were top notch.
You'd think like it was a cry for help, right? Somebody should have been like, dude. His parents should have been like, what the fuck?
The babe spending a little too much time alone.
Yeah, I'll give you a good example. Like one of the things I think is kind of shitty about YouTube right now. Jim Can't Swim, right? That channel that does like the analysis of like murder cases, where they'll go over like suspect footage of the interview at the police station.
Wait, that's JCS criminal psychology thing?
Yeah, he's gone. He's done.
That's Jim Can't Swim. That's what that's called.
Yeah, that was the original name of the channel. Yeah.
Oh, he's done. His videos are great. I've literally watched every one of them.
Yeah, but YouTube shit kicked him, so he can't do them anymore.
The same dude that did this is what acting crazy looks like?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go read his community page, he's like, this is it. It's over.
Why?
Because his videos violate terms of service, which is ridiculous because they're probably some of the more entertaining videos you're ever going to see on the platform. They're not mean-spirited. He's not using slurs. He's not attacking protected groups. He's literally covering, real-time events or, these murders, these cases. And that's it. He's done. So, I mean, I think he's going to try to work something else out through maybe Patreon or something else, but I found his channel entertaining, and I think it sucks that it's gone. And if he can't make it, I sure as shit know that the stuff I would do is never going to fly.
Yeah, I mean, his was very, like, by the book, like, intellectual breakdowns of interrogation footage.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of what would have been not acceptable in his videos. Or look at somebody like Internet Historian. Like, I feel like even his stuff is going to be something they're going to go after next. And that's mostly just comedy,
Yeah. Man, yeah. I wonder, because I want to put this like little video essay documentary type thing out. Once I whip it together, I'd like to put it on my main channel. I wonder how YouTube will react to that.
Yeah, I mean it's a crapshoot, right? And that's the worst kind of mentality to put somebody in. Of hey, I've got this really great idea to do like a video or a series or to put something out, but am I allowed to? Because like once you get into the mindset of am I allowed to, it starts to stifle your creativity, right?
Oh yeah.
So I mean I think it sucks because I bet there are a lot of really funny people out there who are probably like very new or very young, 16 to 20 years old, that could be making really great stuff, but in the back of their head they're like they'll never let me, right? And they're never going to take off because of that.
Oh yeah, and that's why I mean I have zero internet online presence until like I made this YouTube stuff. Like I did shitty fucking music, but I wasn't making any videos because I knew I was trying to be a teacher, and I was like, if I put out content that I wouldn't make, I'm never going to be able to be a teacher. So that's why I was like MIA off the internet till I was like 24.
Yeah, right. Because yeah, it's this. I don't think people that should be the situation they're put in. You know, am I going to lose my job? Are they going to come after my family? Am I going to be thrown off the internet? Is every avenue of revenue going to be cut off from me just because I want to do a funny joke or make a video about a serial killer or talk about a political topic or express whatever opinion or create some kind of piece of art? It's a really horrible, horrible environment to create, and they all seem really gung-ho about doing it on every platform right now.
It's the greatest. Or I mean, you don't even do anything wrong. All you do is step away from helping Ethan Ralph create content, and then he's gonna tell everyone that you're a racist.
Oh, that was insane to me. Yeah, I haven't seen somebody make a threat like that since like old YouTube. There was a group that did that, that used to do that to screw with people. They'd go to their neighborhood and put up posters. So it was really weird hearing him be like, "I'm going to do that." It was surreal, to be honest.
That is a hilarious thing to think about doing. Put up like flyers with someone's face on it, like saying
Yeah,
that they're a pedophile or they're a racist or a supremacist.
It's quite literally what they did. Yeah, they would go to a neighborhood, and there was this autistic slap fight, and they would put up posters on phone poles, like 5 blocks over, 5 blocks up. And those videos are long gone. I'm trying to remember the name of the group. If I looked it up, I probably could find it. Maybe there's still an ad article on it. But like that's really old stuff. Like I haven't seen somebody do that in a long time. So when Ralph was like, "I'm going to go to Gators College, and I'm gonna tell everybody he's a white supremacist, and I'm going to get him fired," I was like, "That's some really underhanded shit, man."
It's just so stupid. It doesn't even make sense. Like what? That's where you're taking this, Ethan? Come on.
Right. Yeah, it's internet shit, man. Keep your internet shit on the internet.
Yeah, and for someone, it's in his position to want to do that. The life ruination shit is, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, especially with the guests you have on, right? Because I mean, he has a fair amount of conservatives come on, right? Or people that have already been deplatformed because they're conservative, or even far right people. So to make like that threat and then have the guests that you have is really weird.
That's what I'm saying, and then it's like, so anyone who works with you in the future are possible suspect, like people that you're going to, portray them as these horrible white supremacist alt-righters. Like you're fucking retarded. It's your show you're running. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
That's why Gator came into contact with them, is because of you.
Yeah, it was some really, it was so stupid, man. To be honest with you, it's a bad look. It's just life ruination stuff. It's fairly old school. It's more malicious than it's more malicious than the cancel stuff you see now. But I feel like it's coming back. Like everybody's like, "Oh no, this is what we need to do." One way or the other. It's weird.
Yeah. Speaking of life ruination, what was your take? Did you ever talk publicly about Chris Chan's mistress, Isabel, whatever the fuck her name was?
Jinkies Jankies or whatever her name is.
Yeah, that sweet girl.
Wasn't that the name that he used when he tried to? Wasn't it like Chinky Jankies or something like that when he tried to get into the troll group? I can't remember, but Isabel Janky I think is the name.
Yeah, that was a crazy fucking mess.
That was a massive clusterfuck. And now, from what I understand, Chris is like he's getting like a psychological evaluation to see if he can aid in his own defense. So it's going to be another 6 months of a continuance before he goes to trial, if there is a trial. And somebody was saying like the charge he has against him right now carries like a maximum penalty of I think like a year. So technically what could happen is by the time that he's done getting his psych evaluation, he will have served more time than he could possibly get as a maximum for his sentencing, and they would just let him go.
My man's smooth sailing.
I wonder if that's what his lawyer's doing. I wonder if his lawyer's like, "No, dude, just act crazy. act like you're a lunatic, not hard to pull off for him, and we'll burn time until basically you're free to go.
I was hoping he was going to get put in the women's prison and the generational dimensional merge was going to happen, and that was going to be him getting hella pussy in prison.
What I'm really like more than the prison saga, what I'm super interested in is knowing like what is he going to do when he's out. Like there's
Yeah.
no way he's going back to his house, right?
Bro.
They're just not going to let that happen. His toys are gone. All his stuff is gone. He has no money. Is he going to live on the streets? You know, is he going to live in a halfway house? Is there going to be like he's going to have to get a job? So like it's going to be wild when he gets out of prison. I think it's going to be a bigger arc in Christian's life than him in prison right now.
I'll say this: I would pay top dollar for a Christian interview if I could interview that guy. I'll pay for a hotel for him for a week if he'll do an interview with me.
He'll probably take you up on it.
Can you imagine that? Just me and Christian in a hotel room, completely unbiased interview, letting him speak his thoughts about having sex with his mom and fucking the dimensional merge.
Well, I watched that. Is it Geno Samuel who did like the 60-part documentary on him?
Yeah,
Where,
that dude's a grinder.
Yeah, there's like an hour each, but there's one video kind of near the end of it, like part 40 to 50, somewhere in there, where he goes to like a convention, and it's they're showing a video, a documentary about him. But like if you watch the convention video, everybody's high-fiving him and hugging him.
Is that when he was like on the ground throwing a fit?
Oh no, this is another one. This is another one. So like
man.
it was so supposed to be like making fun of him, but like everybody's like hugging him and high-fiving him, and he looks so happy. And I'm like, that's the moment in his life where it could have gone one of two ways, where he ends up in prison for having sex with his mom, or he parlays this into becoming popular, and rides that wave. And he went to banging his mom.
He took the wrong route.
He took the wrong road. Yeah.
God damn. No, the Christian stuff's hilarious. I mean, it's I'm not going to debate the morality of laughing at someone who has whatever kind of dysfunction he has, but I mean, he's putting the stuff out there, and no one stopped him for years and years. So I think I'm at liberty to get entertainment out of it.
At this point, it's gotten so ridiculous. I mean, this isn't like, I mean, you could have an argument if it was just it's weird with Christian, right? When you look at his trolling in the beginning, it was people mocking his art and trying to get him to like spurg out or make more Sonichu, right? It was almost very lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like even the early stuff, like Liquid Chris stuff, right, was just somebody pretending to be him to try to convince him that they were Christian.
It worked amazingly.
Right. So it was more lighthearted, but it got a meaner tint to it as it went on. But
then now with this Isabel shit, it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. But he seemed to get more and more it was like he went along with it, right? Like he started to want to engage with it more, which was weird. And then you get to the idea guys, which is I think Gino's just touching on now with the dimensional merge and Neptunia stuff and CPU goddesses, where they convince him of all this shit. So that'll be I think his mind is fried. Like, doesn't he think he's Jesus now? Wasn't that what his most recent letter said?
That was his last take, is that he's God.
Yeah, no, really. I think I'm pretty sure he declared himself like God, like the son of God, and like a CPU goddess from a video game too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the trans lifestyle has really treated him well. It seems like it's gotten dark for him.
No, there's that pipeline, that I've heard brought up before, the incel to tuning out pipeline. So there might be something to that, but it didn't work out well for him.
No, my God. You know what I got a great kick out of? Your 5-hour little interview on Porcelain's channel?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, he was like, yeah, let's get together. He wanted sound clips for his documentary. And he's like, well, I put together like a reel, right? We'll just sit down, we'll talk about it. I'll kind of explain the backstory, and we'll go over it, and then I'll just use some of the audio from that. But then he ended up putting the call up as like an interview. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. It was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly entertaining. If anyone's a Metokur fan out there and they haven't seen that, I would definitely watch that thing. I watched the full thing. I wasn't that familiar with Mersh before that, but coming out of that 5-hour fucking escapade, I mean,
apparently nobody was. But like, he took his chat, like he used to, from what I understand, he used to have his chat up on his streams all the time, like his YouTube chat, so you could read the comments in real time on the screen. He stopped doing that. I think in part because of one of the things we talked about during the sit down, where somebody had said Mersh got really mad because somebody called his mom like a dead whore, something really mean, right? But apparently people started like commenting that at him, and so now he won't put his chat up because they keep spamming that. Yeah, like Mersh, I don't know that he's just. I'm looking forward to the documentary. I have a lot of faith that Porcelain's probably going to put together something that's really entertaining.
Oh, I was eagerly watching. I mean, the little slideshow that he presented to you was really well put together. I thought even.
Yeah, no, he put together like he hit all the high points. Like I only knew I didn't know like my Mersh lore, right? So I was learning it in real time. The fact that like he crashed his car and then did another fundraiser for another car right afterwards was amazing.
Shit. Sorry guys, I fucking crashed that one. Can I have more money, please? No, the incredible part about all that is that he's incredibly arrogant and has a gigantic ego at this point in his life. And he really seems to think he's the shit.
Right? It's kind of weird, isn't it?
I mean, it's shocking to me. It's like, dude, you have like 40,000 subscribers on the one channel, 15,000 on the other. Like, you're just some fucking dude on the internet. Like, he thinks he's like a god or something.
Yeah, I mean, I see Twitch streamers and YouTubers pulling like 40, 50, 60, 70,000 people on a stream,
Yeah.
You think that's the point you start to get an ego, but he's like sitting at like 1,000 viewers and he's getting really high up on there, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and he's talking like, if I see any of you trying to play patty cake over here, and you're over on Jim's stream, donating, whatever the fuck, that weird like super villain voice he's talking in, it's like, dude, you need to check yourself. And then he's trying to be a tough guy, and he's like, seems like he's like fat, out of shape. It's like, what are we doing, Mersh?
What I really loved about that too was he tried to play it off and say, no, I was just joking. That was obviously a joke. But then he went on to a Ralph stream, really drunk, and was just super mad about that and everybody else. Like, you just really, you could kind of feel the venom in his words, right? And it's like, that's not a joke. You're really mad. You're really mad if somebody buys a hat, Mersh.
Yeah, no, he's like raging. That whole thing was just mind blowing, like one after the other. I can't believe that guy is making all that money from this internet shit, and he's leaving this like foot trail of just bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing. He bragged about making 20 grand a month, right? He's like, I make $20,000 a month, but then like every other day he tweets about not being able to afford cat food. So you're like, well, what's the reality here, man? Which is it? Are you rolling in the money, or are you struggling to buy kitty litter?
Yeah, the good old bait. Did Mersh ever say anything after that video? I wonder, did he go on an anti-Jim tirade?
Oh, he did. I like because I started at the beginning of all my streams. Every time I'd shill a hat, I'd always play the Mersh clip.
Yeah.
So he did a couple of streams where he bitched about it. But after the Porcelain sit down interview thing, because I think Mersh had told Porcelain, nobody's going to care, nobody will watch your videos, there's no interest. You'll be lucky if you ever hit like 25,000 viewers, and that interview alone is like at 110,000, and the trailer for the documentary's at like 40. Yeah. So I think that freaked Mersh out, because they're like, oh shit, people will watch this.
I mean, when you act like that, I didn't know who he was, but within like fucking 20 minutes, I was enthralled.
Yeah, now the car story was one of my favorites, I think. Again, just like the idea that he smashes up his car and then asks for another one the next day kind of thing was pretty funny to me. And then just a lot of Mersh lore. It was pretty entertaining. So I'm sure, he's got a lot more of that stuff for the documentary. Should be good stuff.
Yeah, and buying the nice car and acting like it's like the shit, but it's some like fucking old-ass hunk of metal. What car was it?
Oh God, I don't even remember. It was some very specific 1980s, 1990s vehicle. It's one of those brands you don't hear about anymore.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact, like, I like to imagine him sleeping on Royce's couch for 10 years and how much that must have pissed Royce's wife off. Like after a couple years, how neurotic she must have become because of this.
Yeah, how did she allow it?
Right, at some point she's got to be like, you got to get this guy the fuck out of here. Come on.
Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. I thought that merch shit was great. Is there any other like modern day shit that's going on that? What else is crazy? There seems to be a lot happening at the moment, right?
Yeah. So Acerthorn, right, is a guy that's filing lawsuits and DMCA's against everybody. From what I've seen, he's pretty unhinged. There are a lot of court cases and records out there of him doing crazy stuff.
From what I've seen, and it just fucking flashes a
right.
clip of him with his clothes off.
Well, yeah, there's that video. The turkey sound video, which is I woke my wife up laughing at like 2 a.m. because of that. Like it's this obese man in a dungeon basement, eating hot dogs, screaming things, and making angry turkey noises. as he walks around half naked. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
That's incredible.
But like he's going after people like with lawsuits and everything else, and his lawsuits are always insane. They're like for $5 trillion, and he files them all pro se, so he doesn't have a lawyer. And like he's going after the guy that just talked about this. Is Alpha Sin or Omega Sin? I can't remember his username, but like he said, "You're next." Basically, I'm going to sue you next. So he's got like I think 4 or 5 lawsuits that are allegedly out there pending. I'm sure he's going to sue me now for even talking about it, and probably sue you for letting me talk about it.
Oh, I'm a huge Acer Thorn fan. I don't want to get sued. Please don't sue me. You're great at what you do. Keep getting naked and making turkey noises, you reject.
Oh, I need to find that clip. I really want to play it on the monthly recap. I know it'll make him come after me, but it's so goddamn funny. I just can't help myself. So there's the Acer Thorn thing. There's the Destiny thing that's going on right now with the ratio troon that's threatening everybody to. They're gonna ratio activism everybody into the brink of destruction. Yeah, there's a lot of like kind of stuff like that that's out there that I usually kind of pay attention to because it's crazy. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the Discord thing. If they're gonna find like pictures of cat boys and collars from this person's Discord, we might end up with that. Who knows?
What, the Cephalus, however you say it?
Yeah, Kerfuffle, whatever their name is. Yeah, apparently ran a Discord with a cat boy harem, and allegedly underage cat boys, all wearing like property of collars. So some kind of weird kinky shit. Like we were talking earlier about like how do they get into it? Oh, it becomes more and more private. From the public website to like the private social media. So I'm sure that's kind of like a thing that went on there. Who knows?
Oh, I mean, what is the state of the world where you can have this this maniac man that is transitioned into a woman, like, and she has all the power, she's taking everybody down and like rampaging on Twitter, but it's working. Like Destiny's down, she's literally ratioing everyone. It's like, you always say clown world, it's like, what the fuck, the state of this website,
I know it's bonkers. Again, it's like that outgrowth, right? It started off as just teenagers writing about stupid shit on their Tumblr blogs, but then they go through high school and college, get jobs, and now they're working at these companies, and they're giving them the power to say these crazy things and be untouchable. The blessed few that can do whatever they want, and you can't do shit about it.
Yeah, it almost makes it worth like I'm switching up my whole persona. I'm fucking I'm on their team. You know what I mean? I want immunity.
You could make a lot of money, yeah, if you play ball right. I mean, BreadTube itself, the money generation from that is just off the charts. That kind of woke, more left leaning thing. If you wanted to be, facetious about it, you just didn't care, and you just wanted to make bucks. Yeah, that's the way to make money. You become very rich doing that.
Maybe that'll be the next avenue I go down. I look the part. I look like a little bit of a yuppie hippie fucking. Whack job.
You can use this live stream and say, this is the moment I realized that people like Metokur were terrible. They're horrible people, and I saw the light, and please donate to my Patreon.
He's a hateful monster.
It worked for H Bomber Guy. He was a Metokur member, and now he makes, 10-20 grand on Patreon a month?
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take this moment. I'll just outright disavow you, Jim. I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you at all. Content whack. Personality whack.
That's right. Yeah, it's just go away, Grandpa. Nobody wants your racism anymore.
And for the record, any other shit that's bad or negative or perceived as distasteful, I disavow that too. Fuck it.
I can hear the cash register ringing as we speak.
Whatever you guys want me to think, I think it. Just let me make my funny videos and enjoy myself.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's what I always think. You'll talk to people on the internet that. You get deep into some of these forums, people start to get gung-ho and are like, let's take a stand. You're going to let them do this to you? We got to take a stand. We got to make a difference. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, why don't you fucking take a stand, guy? All right? I'm not going to fucking say or do anything that's just going
to... Lead by example. Why don't you, brave warrior, walk out in front of us holding the flag? Let's see how that happens.
Yeah, you can be the martyr for whatever stupid Asperger's-y cause you think is going to make a difference. I'm, not to be black-pilled, but... I kind of have the Sam Hyde thought about it all, like, try to enjoy yourself and take care of your family and friends, because shit's probably just going to get worse.
Well, it worked out well for him in the fact that he could do a walled garden, right? So, like, he can still do, like, his content and still make money, and it's kind of walled off from, like, the effects of these people. But even that, I think, like, as time goes on, they're going to find a way to try to, like, make that impossible.
Take down Gumroad.
It'll be financial. That'll be the cudgel. Yeah, find some way of screwing with banks or payment processors to do something, which sucks because then what? Then what's the next fucking step? Is everybody gonna be on tour? Watching videos at 1 kilobyte a second?
Yeah. No, I think shout out to iDubbbz for doing that documentary on Sam. I thought it was cool to see him get some like actual mainstream YouTuber attention.
I liked that. I thought it was funny that Sam put his part of that up first, and then iDubbbz puts his up, and
Yeah.
it pretty much lined up.
Mhm.
It wasn't taken out of context. It was pretty much just dead on what he said.
No, that was great. I love that iDubbbz just does not understand him. And like he wanted to make like a documentary about him, but ended up just being confused from the jump and never got past the confusion of like, is Sam serious? What does he mean?
I love the start of Sam's video where he outlines. They're doing like that PowerPoint of what they were going to do to iDubbbz to screw with him.
They got the
That
whiteboard.
yeah, that was so funny. God, that was funny.
Yeah, I like all those guys. Jet Neptune and fucking Big Flame and Wrecking Ball. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys. All like Sam's crew seems like pretty funny, cool dudes.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I think it's a sustainable model. He'll probably be around for a while, but yeah, it sucks having to even talk about it like that. Like, how long is he going to be able to last? You know what I mean? Like, until they start fucking with him. Because it feels like everybody's eventually going to get smacked around by this shit.
Yeah, the blacklisted Desperado. I mean, they've already deleted him off everything, and he's kind of came back. So right now, YouTube seems to be letting him do his thing. So
He overpowered them. They just couldn't stop him.
yeah, and I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he did this thing where he like got people. I don't know if they do it for free or if he pays them or if he's even related to them. But like these clip channels that are like clipping in a digestible manner his like paywall content. I think that's a pretty smart thing.
Well, yeah, it gets the stuff out there. I think he's also just his content's pretty popular. So there's always going to be like clipping channels that want to like try to get in on that.
And when you're
But,
so spread out, it's like you can't be erased. Like they try to erase
Yeah.
you from the internet, but it's like how are they going to get down all the fucking hundreds of mirrors everywhere?
Yeah, that stuff is everywhere, isn't it? I mean, yeah, and his stuff even more so. So, that's one way, I guess, of persisting. But starting fresh, yeah, it'd be tough these days.
Yeah, and Porcelain did one of like the best kind of informational pieces about $1 Million Extreme and Sam Hyde that I've ever seen. I think it's called The Blacklisted Desperado. I think, or is it not called that? What the fuck's it called? It's on his channel. You know what I'm talking about?
The last one, I like some of this Porcelain stuff I watched that I remember vividly is, and this got me to watch a bunch of other videos related to it, was the Owen Benjamin stuff.
Yeah, that shit's great.
Oh, and then I started like watching it, and like I thought it was like people were exaggerating to a point, but then I was like, oh no, he really is drinking turpentine and burning dinosaur books.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I was like, it's wild, man.
But he seemed like a kind of a smart, successful comedian, and then it's like
I
devolving.
thought he was like I thought he was like maybe just a super conservative, outdoorsy kind of guy. But then, like, it's like drinking turpentine and talking about your aperture and goo juice and all this other weird shit.
Yeah, like, what the
And
fuck?
I laughed so hard, man, watching that stuff.
He's like buddy with Joe Rogan. The next thing you know, he's like going on these incredibly inappropriate rants on Twitter. It's like, oh, hasn't someone told you this is unacceptable? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, he's a hoot. I think Owen Benjamin's really funny. Shout out to the Bears. I thought that was a gay thing, but apparently he thinks it's cool. I guess I don't know. I mean, I can't talk.
I don't even know if they're still like I don't know if Owen even still streams at this point.
I don't know. He could play the piano. He's one hell of a piano player.
Oh, I mean, I think he's probably cashed out. I mean, he made a lot of money doing his bear shtick. So I think he like built his compound in Montana or whatever the fuck it is, and like he's like, I'm done for the day.
Well, yeah, the Porcelain video is just called Sam Hyde Blacklisted. It's a really interesting because people like you or Sam Hyde that they've had their accounts deleted. It can be confusing retroactively trying to like figure out like the timeline or the story. It's like what the fuck happened to this person or who are they?
Yeah, especially with mine, because I've always had really shitty mic quality. So you're like, is this from 10 years ago or is this from yesterday?
Yeah, it's fascinating, and I don't think there's a lot of I mean, not to fucking pat myself on the back or fucking I'm so cool. I don't think there's a lot of people that have 140,000 subs that want to make a video about these kinds of fringe, obviously inappropriate things. Like Mr. Metokur is not the guy that's going to get you in the good graces of Suzanne.
She's not going to be your best friend, no.
No, but whatever. Fuck it. I just feel so strongly against the whole like overt censorship, and it's so fucked up that people like you or Sam or even fucking Nick Fuentes. I'm not a big Nick Fuentes fan, but I think it's really fucked up what's going on with all the censorship.
Yeah, I mean, people again, it just puts everybody in a situation of, either you create your own walled garden, you find an alternative that's going to last 4 months, or you have to play ball, really, and again, it kind of brings me back to that fire thing because another point that guy had mentioned was like he was like, "Hey, I was a hippie. I was out there in the '60s on college campuses, like protesting against like administration restricting our speech." And he's like, "The thing that really fucked me up is once we won, and all my left-leaning friends grew up and took positions in the universities, they stopped advocating for free speech and just for their speech." And he's like, it turned into this shit show where it was all like a charade, and he felt really depressed about it. And I that's just kind of where we are. It's you got to toe the line of the people in charge, I guess, until somebody comes. Maybe Elon will spend billions of dollars and make his own platform and let us all have fun. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it can't be that hard to just have a platform where people can say what they want. I mean, shit's always going to devolve and be negative. I guess you have to have some kind of cap on speech at some point, right? I guess if you get into like what harming people and those kinds of things,
I mean, I
like
think
physically.
well, yeah. I mean, I think that it's it's the idea that if you're informed of what you're walking into, you're fine. It'd be like somebody getting offended going on to 4chan. You should expect to know what you're getting into, right? Or if you're signing up for SA back in the day, you would kind of know what you're getting into. So if somebody created a new platform that was very open and a free for all, I think that having a sign posted that says "Good luck" should be enough to give them an idea of kind of what they're getting into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are always going to be some rules. I mean, you don't want people doing things that are blatantly illegal or horrible, but for the most part, I think that just that old spirit of what it was would be nice to have back for a while.
Yeah, like, I have my own little shitty Discord that no one cares about, and it's, writing the rules of, like, what's allowed. I'm pretty much just like, don't do fucking weird porn shit, and, like, just, try to, what do you want me to say? And it's hard, I don't want to ban people. Like, I have people that are like, oh, so-and-so's bullying me on your Discord. It's like, well, can't you guys figure it out? Like, I don't want to have to ban somebody.
See, I don't use Discord, so I don't even know how would you get bullied on Discord? Are they DMing each other? Is that how that works, or is it like a group chat, or what?
Yeah, you
what
can
it,
join like a voice chat. So I have like the fucking Hyperborean Hangout or some shit, whatever the fuck it's called, the Slam Zone, some stupid shit. I don't know what it's called, but you can go in there and just like talk like we're talking. And I guess people are mean in there sometimes.
Oh, well, then don't go into voice chat. Seems like the problem solved, huh?
Yeah,
That would have been my response. Well, if they're saying mean things in voice chat, don't go into that voice chat.
yeah. No, I just try to be like, hey guys, try not to be shitty. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, you get banned. You made someone upset. You get banned. It can be difficult trying to fucking figure it out. I typically have a hands-off approach.
What if you took the opposite approach and just surprise them? Subvert their expectations, and everybody that says they're a victim of this intense bullying, you just message them and say you're banned because you deserve it.
Oh yeah, if you're able to be bullied, you get banned.
If you're that weak, you deserve it.
Yeah. Well,
Be like that guy's an asshole.
you know what made me laugh really hard? The you tried to release merch that said "Bully the Weak."
Oh my god, that lasted 2 days.
That is fucking a hysterical shirt.
I liked it. I liked it, and apparently, yeah, Teespring, you can't use the word bully.
Well, I mean, it's just like a hilarious fucking. Why can't you sell that shirt? I saw not Sam Hyde. Frank Hassel had a shirt that said like, "I'm schizophrenic and have a gun" or something like that.
Yeah, right. I think when it's so outrageous and over the top, obviously, right? I mean, bully the weak. Come on. Like, what are you expecting? Like, their army of people wearing this, marching down the street? No, it's a gag, and the schizophrenic with a gun one would be too. But yeah, Teespring, it was very. They did not like that. They did not like that product.
Yeah, that's great. So I don't know how long we've been doing it. I haven't looked at chat or anything, but should we read some old super chats?
Sure.
I don't know what you want to do. Is there anything else? So I don't know the timeline for when this video is going to be out. I have like a ton of fucking videos backlogged, but is there anything else you think we should touch on, just for kind of a layman's video essay on the history and lore of Mr. Metokur?
I think the best summary for it would be, I was lucky enough to be able to enjoy the internet right kind of when Web 2.0 hit, and all these different platforms came out where you could share videos and interact socially, and I enjoyed the freedom of that before it became really kind of authoritarian and jumping down your throat. And I think it's kind of a pity that that's going away. And I guess that, if you wanted to capstone what I've done online, it almost lines up perfectly with it, from that kind of almost absolute freedom until the end where we are kind of right now, where it's kind of almost going away totally. And so that's what I would say. I would say the summary is I got lucky and was able to enjoy the internet for what it was while it lasted.
Yeah, a true internet veteran, Mr. Metokur. The last of a dying breed. I don't know how to say it without being too gay. That sounds super gay. I think it's cool. Like from the beginning, you've been very, very pro free speech. Very, you stayed anonymous. You've kind of held.
I tried my best.
Yeah, you've held true to a lot of the same values from the beginning, and you've exposed some pedophiles. I think you've done good. I think all in all, it's a chaotic good.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it's trying to enjoy the internet for what it was. Yeah, I personally, I feel bad for kids growing up with it now. I think it's probably just, there's entertainment to be found, but I don't think they'll get to enjoy it the same way I did, or anybody in the last 10, 20 years did. And I think they're, missing out on that. I think it's a good experience. It kind of sucks that it's not there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was born in '95, so you were obviously a lot more sentient than me during some of the early internet days, but, I think I'm lucky enough to have experienced it as well. Imagine it, you're born, if you're like 18 right now, it's like the internet is a completely different landscape than what it was in 2013. I mean, when I'm 18.
Yeah, radically different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. We're gonna read some super chats, but I really appreciate you fucking taking the time to talk to me. This is really cool for me as a fan of you, without trying to suck your dick too much.
No, man, I like doing live streams. I tend to try to go on when people ask me and stuff, regardless of if they're a fan or not. I mean, I did one stream once with a dude that was like like a super communist. It was really weird. Yeah, it was like one of the only kind of political streams that I've done. But he had like a stutter and stuff, and it would have been easy to kind of, I guess, dunk on him for that. But we ended up having like a fun conversation for like 2 hours.
Yeah, you had some merciless Mr. Metokur, right?
Right. Yeah. The internet is made for. It should be made for entertainment and arguments. That's the two avenues that it should go.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good that you're so pro discourse. I feel like that would help a lot. I don't think the world becomes a better place when certain political leanings are censored. And I wouldn't think it was good if they were like censoring the left, and all these leftist shit is getting like deleted. I would be like, that sucks. They should be able to say their fucking shit,
No, yeah, I agree, and I don't want to see it I don't want to see the pendulum swing that far back where it's just a reversal of what it is now. I'd like it to be like kind of just down the middle, right? Let everybody have their say.
Yeah, you can be a freak. I can laugh at it, and then we can both fucking go to sleep safe and sound in our beds at night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so. So in your weakened health state, Jim, do you still drink alcohol or anything?
No, I don't drink. That was one of the first things I stopped doing because I'm not 100% certain exactly what's going on, so I had to stop.
That makes sense. I was gonna say, I have a bottle of whiskey in my hand. I was gonna do a little toast, but we could do a
toast in spirit.
Toast. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I'll take a sip of my
Milton,
soda. There we go.
Holy shit. All right, I got the chat up.
Sure.
Someone saying, Buckingham, you did okay. We forgive your stutters. Thank you, guys. I'm incredibly nervous. Thanks for understanding. I'm having a meltdown. Man, alcohol tastes gross. So, how the fuck do I...
Pull up your super chats?
Yeah.
If you go to... Let me do this here. I can tell you how I do it. I know they've got multiple systems to do it, but if you just go to your main YouTube channel and then you click your little icon and go to YouTube Studio.
All right, let me see something, just for safety reasons.
Oh yeah, you're probably not going to want to share this on stream, by the way.
Yeah. So go to YouTube Studio.
Yep, go to YouTube Studio. On the left-hand side, you're going to scroll down past analytics, comments, all of that stuff down to monetization. And then if you see supers there, if you click that, it should show all your super chats.
Wait, look at that. All right. All right, so we have a few. I'll just get right into them. I guess you guys don't have to. Fuck it. I'll pull it up. Who cares? All right. It's time. We have Autism Forums with a $5 dono saying, Jim, I would like to become a vampire. I think it'd be kind of cool. Any advice on how to go about that?
Well, I mean, I'd start by going to the blood bank and then just drinking as much as you can. You know, ask them for a bag or two. Don't ask for it to be tested because real vampires can just filter out STDs. And best of luck.
Okay. Real vampires can filter out STDs?
They can, yeah. No hepatitis, no AIDS, HIV. You're immune to it all. That's how you know you're a real vampire. But you got to drink a lot of blood to be sure.
Those lucky bastards. Now we have Michael Alberto. I saw you did a stream with him. Shout out Michael Alberto.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he donated $1.99 and said, "Ask about Jim81 Jim getting hacked."
Oh, so back in the day, right? This is related to Haberman. We like to see he was the admin, right? He owned Metokur. But like 24. If you ever heard the phrase 24-hour ops or gay ops, was a way of making fun of Haberman, because he was very insistent about doing trolling schemes. And so because he owned the forum, we would screw with him. If he went on vacation, we would put up like a ticker that would put up his docs after the court case. So one of the things I did was I faked a hacking on Jim81 Jim with a group. What's it called? Not Entourage. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the fucking name. Enclave, I think it was. Oh, are you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought meat cut out for a second. So I set this up where it was a fake hack on the channel, right? But that wasn't the joke. The punchline was Haberman was so shitty at doing 24-hour ops that it would be obvious. I think Latvia Man, when he did a stream with Short Fat Otaku, showed like the first half of it, but he never showed the punchline, which was the channel then reverted over to like a essay that was quote unquote written by Haberman about how you'd never see trolling ops like these on Busy Street. Because I should probably mention, when Haberman had a falling out with Jordan Haas, which was like a co-founder of the forum, Haas went and made his own website called Busy Street, and they had like a rivalry at that point. And so I tried to make it look like Haberman was doing this massive gay trolling op to take credit and show Jordan how real trolling was done. And so that's the story behind that.
So it was a fake hacking orchestrated by you to fuck with Haberman?
Yeah, we did that all the fucking time. This is one of the reasons it sucks that all the screen caps are gone. Because like LMTE was a admin on the forum too. So Haberman went on vacation once. One of the other things we did to him was we had a ticker at the very top of the forum that had his address and phone number. So all the people that were pissed off that they were being made fun of on Metokur would show up on the website while he was gone on vacation, and it had his full docs ticking across. And then he word filtered all this stuff that would just put out his full name and address. So all the people that were guest posting were posting his docs without realizing it. He was a little upset about that, but I thought it was fun.
That's some crazy shit you're orchestrating just to have fun on the internet.
Well, that was like a game, is to kind of screw with each other as much as possible.
And I guess with these people, in the midst of your Haberman interactions, you're maintaining the no internet friends policy, or at some point are you liking this dude, or was it upsetting when you guys stopped being boys, or you were just like, fuck it?
Oh, well, I thought it sucked, because like I said, he was funny, right? Like, the forum was fun to be on, and he was a funny guy when he wanted to be. The internet friends thing, I think people misunderstand that. It's not like you have to be abrasive or an asshole, but I think it's just, maybe it's just the mentality of the era I grew up with the internet, right? That idea of anonymity. But there's a separation for me between, internet stuff and real life. And so I look at friends as people I'd go to a barbecue with, or, somebody that I've known. Yeah. Where the internet is just they're acquaintances. That's not to say it's a mean thing, but yeah, we're acquaintances. We're not really friends here.
Yeah, it's such an interesting perspective, because so much of what I do on my channel is traveling places and filming with people in real life. So
yeah, you get out there, you meet them, have a beer, that kind of thing.
It's a much different dynamic than strictly over the internet on forums, debates over the web.
Right, and it also comes down to you don't really know who you're interacting with, right? Mm-hmm. that goes back to like the kind of old school mentality of what the internet was. You have no idea who you're talking to, so the person that quote unquote is your friend may turn out to be a literal psychopath that you had no idea about.
Brutalizing animals, molesting children, doing God
Just,
knows what.
Yeah, doing crazy shit. Yeah.
Making turkey sounds half naked, but
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. Like, I think about how I'm going to transition my channel because all the constant traveling. It's like I'm on tour. I always have to be in new places. Digging into some of this internet lore would be a really fun direction to take the channel in because it seems like an undying well. There's so much content.
Oh yeah, you could make thousands of videos. There's so much stuff out there that you could cover if you wanted to go just over different events or people or instances that happened over the last 20 years. I mean, you'd have infinite amount of subjects for videos.
I mean, it's incredible there isn't like a proper like Frederick Knudsen style video about your internet history. To me, I feel like it's deserving of a video.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, again, it really is just kind of laughing at furries and talking about Tumblr. But yeah, you're talking about kind of transitioning into talking about like internet lore and stuff like that. I like those kind of videos. I mean, I watch that kind of stuff, like Frederick Knudsen, internet historian, people that kind of go over that kind of stuff. Even Dankula did like Mad Lads, where he talked about was it Drakenlord? Is the German guy?
I'm not familiar.
Oh my god, that's a crazy fucking story. If you get a chance to like follow up on him, like this is a dude that became like I don't know, I haven't even seen an example in the US of something like this where they'd show up to his house every day to screw with him and he'd scream at them and throw rocks at them, and it reached a point where the city bought his house to get him to move away because he was causing such a disturbance.
What?
And so now he lives in a truck waiting to go to jail.
Jesus. Wait, who is the dude in the desert in the tent that fucking hates you and he's pissing and shitting in a bucket?
Oh my god, Wayne Lambright.
Wayne Lambright, dude. I fuck with that guy heavy.
Oh, that dude. Yeah. Yeah, I again, see, that's the thing. Like, when I talked about him on stream, I get to talk about it a little bit and show him talking about wanting to cut my head off with a spoon, but I can't, like, play the video of him pooping in buckets. Even though I'd love to.
Man, there's got to be some fucking platform that can give me that content. That is fucking great.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, why can't we see the shit bucket clip, Susan? Fuck, man.
It's just, yeah, there's what was it? Yeah, it's him on camera talking to people, probably on Discord, and he's got a giant metal pail and he's just pissing in it, butt naked, and talking to people like it's like he's talking about the fucking weather of the sports game. It's just surreal.
Wayne Lambright. Yeah, I mean, that, like, I feel like the internet like needs to know about these kind of people. They're fucking hilarious. And what the beginning of like someone told him to eat a bag of dicks or something.
Yeah, that's the start of it, right? I wish that was more documented. I came across Wayne Lambright when an employee at like a Costco said he needed to suck a bag of dicks.
And he just couldn't handle it.
He could not handle it, so he spent weeks making hour-long videos, calling up the managers at the business, calling his state representatives, trying to get a hold of the FBI, and talking about how being told to suck a bag of dicks was the most traumatic experience of his life. And like at that point, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be fun to watch. And here we are with him living in a shed in the desert, pissing in buckets.
I mean, that's incredible. Part of me wishes that you had like a weekly window to everyone's life, and you had to like you could look into what the fuck everyone's doing every week.
Just see what they're doing, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if like state mandated everyone had to fucking post a 10-minute YouTube video every week. All right, I'm dragging on. Terry Hesticles, my dear friend, Mr. Terry Hesticles, donated $5 and said, "Jim, do you remember Big Al? I always wondered what happened to that guy. Did he reach out to you after you became well known? Did he reach out to you after you became well known?"
Yeah, Big Al was one of the people I remember from like earlier in the internet. He was actually friends with Chibi Mecodemics, or Chibi Necodemics. I don't know how the fuck you say the guy's name, but I haven't talked to him in a while. But I mean, I did talk to him like a year or two ago, and he seems to be doing fine.
Big Al. Yeah, I guess you did videos with that guy early on or some shit.
Yeah, we did like a Sandra Lee cooking video. This chick who used to get shit-faced drunk and then make really awful cakes.
Gang. All right, Charlie Greathouse donated $5 and said, "When's the next Thailand vlog dropping? My Mayo Master. Thailand video should be coming this Monday or Thursday. I'm sorry for the drought. I'm on like a severe content drought right now. I haven't uploaded in like 6 weeks, which,
Getting over the hangover from Thailand.
Well, dude, I got a terrible eye infection, like a genuinely unfunny, horrible eye infection where my vision was like incredibly blurry for like 3 weeks, and it sucked dick.
See, there are a lot of jokes I want to make about who you could have got that eye infection and what might have led to it, but I don't want to get your channel pegged.
No, everyone was like, you're going down on fucking trannies, or you're having trannies bust in your face, you're eating out nasty prostitute pussy. It wasn't the case. That's not the case. Literally, I was training Muay Thai. There was a breakout at my gym, and then like I had sex with this street prostitute in Pattaya, and then I woke up the next day and had pink eye and was like, maybe it's chlamydia in my eyes, but then I got blood tested and I didn't have chlamydia or urine tested, whatever it was, Jim, and I'm fine, okay? So don't worry about it. Is that good?
I think they're satisfied, yeah.
All right. Your boy Yeti said, Jim, where can I find your video on Hampshire?
That should be up on BitChute. If you just look up Mr. Metokur on BitChute, or if you just look up Hampshire on YouTube, I'm sure there's probably like a copy, a mirror.
Kill All Pedos said, Jim, where can we find a copy of your Super Punch Out LP? Sounds like it was well received, but it's gone. Had to make a forensic reconstruction.
It's dead in the water and gone. Like, I'll just sum it up for you. It was just me talking as a ring announcer over boxing footage. It's not really that great. It's about all it was.
And it's lost in the sands of time?
It's one of those ones that's gone forever.
What a shame. Graham Kaiser donated $20 and said, talk about the lead-up and fallout of Jim's worst contribution to the internet, IBS Apocalypse.
That was about 20 different groups of people that ran different fucking streaming shows that kept pestering me because they wanted to argue with each other. So I was like, fine, I'll be neutral ground and let you all argue with each other. And then it was a 7-hour stream, and it was just so fucking awful. And I had the worst migraine after that shit show.
It was just an internet blood sport, like just feud on.
It was like everybody wanted to like rip each other apart because I don't know, man. There were so many stupid. They were so angry at each other about just all sorts of shit. And it was like it was Tonka Saw, Failure, Andy Worski, Ralph was there, Zoom, Diogenes, and Capistan. I think like 2 other people, and they all had different shows they did. They all did different streaming stuff. They all had issues with each other. And it was just a nonstop screaming match between all these people for like 6 hours. And that was just that's be careful what you wish for or agree to, I guess. I should have reconsidered that because my head was just throbbing at the end of that fucking thing.
And this is going to come off as like kind of a stupid, uninformed question, but I never knew through all the IBS stuff, like, who the fuck is Tonka Saw? Like, did he have a channel? Like, where was that guy?
So the IBS stuff grew out of. Do you know who Kraut and T is?
Yeah, I know, like Kraut. You have a video, or is it Krout? You did a video about the fucking dude.
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, it grew out of that. So like the Kraut and T thing happened, this convention thing happened, and then Andy Worski started doing streams, kind of talking about stuff. And then there was another guy named Tonka Saw who did the show called The Morning Kumite, which was like he'd do a stream in the morning. That's all it was, Morning Kumite. So Worski and Tonka started streaming, and that was kind of like the start of like IBS. But so you'd have like Andy Worski and JF Gearby doing like a stream at night, and then you'd have Tonka Saw and Failure doing it in the morning, and they'd both bring in about the same amount of numbers. So you'd have Andy bringing in like 5,000 viewers, and you'd have Tonka bringing in like 2,000 to 5,000 in the morning. And then eventually they had a falling out that they were going to box each other, and Tonka Saw like signed a fake name to the documents to get out of it. It was going to be an MMA match. Like the whole IBS thing was a hell of a story in and of itself. Like the whole arc of that. Yeah,
like I remember in one of your videos you talk about Tonka Saw. He like bailed, and like what Worski actually like trained and showed up to the event.
Yeah, Worski did the blood work, signed the paperwork, trained, flew out, paid for his hotel room, showed up at the MMA event, and then Tonka Saw was a no-show. And then the organizers had stated that the reason Tonka Saw wasn't there was he had given a false name and wouldn't give them the real information to sign the contract. And they're like, we're a real legitimate business. We can't, we have to have this for legalities, right? And so he didn't show up. So Andy was allowed to go in the ring and basically gloat for like 10 minutes and make fun of Tonka. That's why he comes out in a wheelchair, because there was a meme, a joke that Tonka couldn't walk. I mean, it was not true, but he did it to make fun of him. He wore a little headdress and everything else.
Yeah, that's I was never because I watched your videos about it, but I never saw any Morning Kumite streams or like put
Yeah,
together. Who the fuck is Tonkasaw?
yeah, a lot of those are gone for good. There are a couple people that have like archives, but like he streamed for I'd say a year and a half straight every morning, and made a ridiculous amount of money doing it.
Holy shit!
So that was a dude that came out from going from like 20 people watching his stream to 5,000 watching it and making a ridiculous amount of money back down to 20 in the span of like a year and a half.
My God. Yeah, having 5,000 live viewers is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and it was consistent. So like they'd play off each other. Andy would be in the evening, Tonk in the morning. They'd have crossovers. Andy would come on as a guest. They'd talk about the same things, and then they had their big falling out and led to a attempted MMA match.
That Tonkasaw bluffed on. Yeah, I think you did a video called like Tonkasaw Internet Tough Guy or some shit.
Yeah, where he's all bluster. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that shit is really funny. But if you type in like Tonkasaw, it's hard to fucking piece that together at this point.
Yeah, because he renamed his channel like 5 times to screw up the algorithm, so you can't find him. Like I think it's Tonky Talk Radio he does now. I don't know, but it's like 10 people watching.
That really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tonky Talk Radio. All right, we have VHS Paradise donating $5 and saying, ask Jim if he knows about James Bear and what he did to his 9-year-old sis when he was 13. I would elaborate, but YouTube won't let me. This is my 4th try.
James Bear or Beard?
James Bear. It could be Beard, and you might have misspelled it. James Beard.
I actually don't know who that is. Let me look up.
James Beard.
Let's see if I can...
13. VHS Paradise. Are you the guy that made the Buckingham Show VHSs? I think it is. I'm not looking at chat, so I don't know why I'm fucking asking.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know.
He's not familiar.
Unfamiliar.
Ace Presents. Shout out Riley. He's the producer for the Dick Masterson Show. Ace Presents said, "This is a much-needed stream. We got to appreciate this while we have it. I love both of you. Genuinely, have a good night." Thank you, Riley. I appreciate that. Terry Hesticles with another $5. Another super chat just to say thanks to Jim for coming on. I've given you enough super berries. To your stream, so here's 5 for Brandon. Thank you, Terry. It's very sweet.
Oh, you got somebody in your general chat giving a little bit of a background. When you put it like that, are you saying he murdered her?
Let me pull my shit up.
Okay, well, if there's a video up on March 11th, 2022, it's a edited title that says James Bear effed his sister.
Holy shit.
That's got 115,000 views, so I guess that's who we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. I'll go watch the video afterwards.
Yeah, I'll have to look that. James Bear is a YouTube animator that roped his little sister. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when I read that, I thought, oh, do you mean like tied a noose around her or something? But no, I guess it means something different.
Bromedy Blank, I'll let you skip the super chat line. He gave $2 and said, "I have knee gears in my leg." Should I know what that means?
I'm not sure. I guess it'll be a mystery.
All right. Tux Loves You gave $5. Wait, no. Ace Presents, Riley again gave $5 and said, "Brad Carter is the phone losers of America, and he is the OG internet prank caller, and he is still as great as ever. Top 10 internet creators. Cactus." Is that, do we know what that means, Jim?
No, I'm actually just kind of... I'm looking at the James Bear thing now. Now I'm curious, because I've never heard of this guy before.
Oh, we got a rabbit hole? I'll look it up. We'll see.
It seems this happened like a week or two ago, because there are results from everywhere. Yeah, YouTube videos, Reddit posts.
James Bear. Are James Bear animator and sister allegations true? What, he's a young YouTube, 22-year-old YouTube guy?
Yeah, that's what they're showing.
Oh, he's one of these fucking dudes. Odd one is out type guys.
Does he do like like flash animation, or I mean, it kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
Cal Arts a little bit.
He was having intercourse with his 9-year-old sister at the age of 13. James details that the events took place in 2013 were the result of him suffering from depression from harassment. "Stop being mean to me or I'm going to keep raping my sister."
I don't think I've ever heard that defense before. Is that really what he went with?
Apparently, yeah. If you keep being mean to me, I'm gonna rape her again. Okay?
Don't you feel bad? This is your fault.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm just sad, okay? And I'm tired of beating off, and she's right there across the hall. That's crazy. No, this dude has fucking like 300,000 subs or something. That's insane, though.
How did this come to, like, how did they find out? Did he just suddenly admit, hey guys, by the way, I was raping my sister for a few years there?
I guess someone posted screenshots. Lalo does art exposed James through screenshots, where I guess he, in Chris Chan fashion, admitted to doing these heinous things.
Why would he ever? What would compel somebody? You said he had how many? Like 300,000 subs?
300K, so he's got to be making like all right money.
So he's popular, he's making money, and he decides, hey, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go on social media and tell people I've been raping my sister. Let's see how that plays out.
Maybe he thought he would get sympathy if he's talking about, I was so depressed and was getting harassed so much.
Oh my God! Could you imagine how delusional you'd have to be to think that, like, yeah, they're gonna totally feel bad about my, my depression making me a pedophile.
Yeah, forget if she was asking for it or not. I was sad, okay, and you guys were mean. So
you guys you're being terrible here. Don't you understand how upset I've been?
Yeah, well, I guess we cracked that case. All right. Tux Loves You gave $5 and said, still working on the Gunt game, Jimbo. Also, thanks for the awesome Chud Bud hoodie.
Oh, yeah, that Gunt game is funny as shit. I don't know if you've seen it. He was making a mod of Mario 64, all featuring Ethan Ralph stuff. Really good.
Yeah, I think I heard you talk about it on one of your last things.
Yeah, I saw Flamenco do like a Let's Play of it, one of the early builds of it.
This Flamenco guy, he's someone I'm not that familiar with. Does he have he's a YouTuber?
Yeah, he was just the former co-host of Ralph's on the Kill stream, and then went off to kind of do his own thing. I think he mostly streams with people like Augie or RFC, people like that, who also are like their own kind of like group of streamers.
Oh, he's streaming right now. A deep dive into Keffels, the person claiming to have gotten Destiny banned. Alice exposes Ralph. He's live. I'll give him a sub. I'll check him out. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure Keffels will probably be, or Kerfuffle or whatever, will probably be a hot topic for a while.
Yeah, shout out that fine young woman. Walter Deadman with the $4.99. Jim, did you hear about Ralph losing money on bets related to Japanese baseball? Heard something related to that on Kino Casino last night.
Yeah, well, I've heard that before. Something about Japanese baseball and Taiwanese tennis, which I don't even know if Taiwanese tennis is a thing or if it's just the alliteration made somebody laugh. But I don't know why you'd be betting on obscure stuff like that unless like you're the world's biggest Japanese baseball fan.
Yeah, what? Yeah, that seems ridiculous to me. Taiwanese tennis, like that's a serious thing.
No, I have no idea.
What a fucking reach. Skeeter's Funhouse, I like that username. That's good. Skeeter's Funhouse gave $5 and said, "Congrats on having Jim. Good banana." Thank you. It's very nice of you. Bromedy Blank donated $2 and said, "Keffels privated their Twitter."
Oh, did they? No way. Did they really?
Yeah, is that true? Let me check my phone.
These are lies. I'm looking at it right now.
Really?
Looks open to me.
Bromedy Blank, what the hell, man?
Unless they have multiple Twitter accounts. I know they've got like 20 accounts, so maybe it's a different one than the main one.
Yeah, she tweeted an hour ago, "You cannot seriously be calling me subhuman while also trying to say you don't hate trans people."
I wonder who they're arguing with.
I don't know, but I mean, I'll say it. Keffels, listen. I don't hate trans people. I think you're fucking subhuman. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Oh, you're going to get ratioed so hard, man.
Oh, man. Well, my incredible Twitter following, it's going to be hard to outratio my 2,800 followers. So
I'll pray for you.
My God.
Give you some moral support.
My God, Keffels. Please don't. And then what I think might be the last donation is Walter Deadman just changed bully to crush. That might work. I guess he's talking about the Bully the Week shirt. Crush the Week.
It sounds even meaner, to be honest.
Oh, that's great. And I guess is that about it? No, we have more from that are not loaded. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it'll do that sometimes.
Sorry for me being a rookie streamer. I don't stream very often.
That's fine.
Fuck, dude. Where did I leave off? All right. Brandon Buckingham donated $2. I guess someone made that account. Advice for someone looking to become a teacher. It's $199. My advice for someone looking to become a teacher is,
Don't.
yeah, fuck, dude. Try not to. No, I mean, know what you're getting into for sure. Don't come in with a warped perception that you're gonna like change this system and help all these kids. You know, you might be in a shitty situation where you can't help very much. Yeah, just do research about where you live, the county you're teaching in. Like, you know, if I taught in the county I grew up in, Carroll County, it would have been a lot different experience than if I taught in Montgomery County, Maryland. So, like, you know, look up your county's rules and shit, because it could be on some bullshit. I don't know. What fucking advice can you give? Don't try to save the day. You know, you're just a fucking cog in the wheel, and you know, follow instructions and get in line. That's my advice, right?
My advice would be what I said earlier. I would seriously job shadow on your own time if you could work it out. Just spend a week watching what it's really like to get an idea if you really want to commit 4 years at minimum to getting a degree for it.
Yeah, because I mean, you might hate it, and you might like, you know, have this perception like you're gonna make this grand impact, and then it just all falls through your fingers, and you're fucking like, damn, I just wasted $100,000 in 6 years of my life.
Right.
So be really sure you want to do it, because I don't know how much an education degree is like valuable in other fields, but I can't imagine it's that valuable. I'm sure you can be like a salesman of some sort after being a teacher. But
Right. Well, I mean, usually they parlay it, right? So you'll extend it out into a master's, you know, and then you'll write materials to sell to other educators. That's the money game.
yeah, that seems like a bit of a multi-level marketing scheme, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Go to school to learn this stuff so you can sell it to other people that are going to school to learn this stuff. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. If I should be becoming a teacher, good luck. Have fun. I don't fucking know. It's probably going to suck. Or it might be awesome and you might love it. Polyfrog64. Oh, go to community college. How about that? That's good advice. Save money and go to community college if you don't have a scholarship, right?
Yeah, get an associate's, and then you can figure out what you want to do. Yeah, it's much cheaper, and get everything front loaded, so you can just go right into your specialty.
Yeah, it's a huge waste of time to go in and fucking do general ed at an expensive university and throw away all that money.
Yeah,
also,
that's actually good.
Also, my advice for someone that's in college is like pursue your passions while you're in college, because when you're out of college and you're spit into the workforce, I mean, you're going to be a total fucking loser trying to do make beats on your mom's couch at 25 years old with your bachelor's degree. You know. So, like, I think if you're in college, you should pursue some kind of passion if you think you might want to do that. Like, I think college is your time to, like, you know, try that out while you're doing your studies. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
I'd agree. I mean, I kind of think that, like, that is the one of those moments where you kind of get to decide, you know, what is the next 40 years of my life going to look like. So, yeah, explore those options.
Yeah, because I mean, I could have started YouTube shit when I was in college and saved me a lot of time and money. I don't think going to college for 6 years, becoming a teacher, and then quitting to do YouTube is like a smart career trajectory. It's a lot of wasted time and money.
No, but you could use your education. You could use your degree now to write a book for other educators called "How I Got Into YouTube" and make some real money.
I'm gonna start selling courses, YouTube courses.
Oh my God, do it! They'd probably buy it from you. How can I use YouTube in my classroom? Well, I'm an expert. Look at my sub count.
Yeah, look at this, 140. I'm a big deal. In fact, I drive a 2013 Prius. I look so good riding in that Prius. You guys are all jealous. You fuckers. I like Merch. I should have a conversation with Merch. That'd be fun.
Oh, it would be entertaining.
I'd like to talk to him. I want him to give me his pitch on why he thinks he's such a hot shot. Have him raging out on me. I think it would be really funny to have someone just fucking yelling at you on stream, going crazy.
Oh yeah, it's a trip. It's fun stuff.
My God. Polyfrog64 donated $10 and said, Odyssey lets you get away with and post a lot of stuff, including putting Israel on blast. I've been trying to tell you, man, Odyssey is lit. That's what Polyfrog64 said.
Yeah, I tried a lot of different like alternative things, and some of them were very good, but they always seem to kind of go away after a while. Like I did VidMe, I did StreamMe, I tried DLive, I tried oh my God, I can't even remember half the name of these things. But like every time I get comfortable and start to enjoy myself, like there'd be a financial issue or some kind of problem in corporate, or there'd be some kind of new law or legislation passed that just kind of kneecapped it. So I'm not super enthusiastic, but if it works for now, that's great. I'm glad people can use it and put up whatever they want to put up.
Yeah. I mean, we're glossing over this, but you know, I call it this nasty, heinous anti-Semitic attack. He's insinuating we want to put Israel on blast, Jim, and for me, that's just
Well, I love Israel and the Jews.
They're our greatest ally, and I will not let anyone say otherwise. On blast, Polyfrog. That's sickening, you anti-Semite.
Terrible.
What the fuck? I mean, they're the most homophobic place in the West, or whatever they say about them. You know what?
Well,
Fuck.
I need to disavow this for when I switch over to BreadTube so I can make that Patreon money later.
Yeah. No, I don't want to put them on blast. I want to put them up my ass. You know what I'm saying? Suzanne Biden style. All right, Polyfrog64 said for $5, looking forward to the March Madness stream, Jim. I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. We had Alice tell us all about Baked Alaska and Ralph.
Yeah, so I started watching that. There was some dark allegations in there, but the thing that I think I almost want to have this painted so I can hang it on the wall is her describing him with his legs in the air masturbating while she cries in the corner eating noodles.
What?
Like that mental image of a woman talking about a man masturbating on the bed with his legs in the air while she sobs eating noodles, like that needs to be painted. That needs to be printed onto a poster so I can hang that on a fucking wall.
Who is this Alice character?
IP2 streamer, so kind of like an outgrowth of Ice Poseidon and his whole
Yeah,
group.
why I'm on fucking IP2? How the fuck do you get on there? They just put you on there?
I guess, yeah, if you're associated with the other IP2 streamers,
No,
but
I'm literally completely not associated.
they threw you on there then to fuck with you. I don't know, but
Yeah, I guess because I'm
she-
edgy, right? I'm inappropriate. Great.
she would go on to all the streams with all the different streamers, and part of that was like Baked Alaska and Yoba, and she related a story last night on Aquino Casino, which is what PPP and Andy Worski host, about Baked Alaska masturbating on the bed with his legs in the air while she ate noodles, crying in the corner naked.
Sounds like a great mate.
God, I need a poster of it. They're talented artists out there. Somebody needs to draw this.
Yeah, someone make it, and then Jim will do a merch drop with the fucking a tale of love. The noodle masturbation incident. Yeah, what the fuck's going on with Baked Alaska? I was at the January 6th storming of the Capitol when he fucking went inside the building.
I don't know. So like his content spray where he maced some guy, like he got 30 days, but I think they're trying to appeal it. And then he's got the January 6th thing where I heard that he like turned over evidence about it.
He snitched?
So I don't. That's the rumor. So I don't know exactly what's going on with him, but Alice had said something last night that Nick Fuentes had advised Baked Alaska to flee the country and go to Russia to avoid being prosecuted.
Oh, shit.
So if Nick Fuentes told Baked Alaska that in private in like text messages or SMS, and Baked Alaska has now turned all of this to the January 6th committee, he might have just fucked over Nick. So good job, Yoba. Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never understood because I was at the January 6th thing all day. I was there like on the stairs of the Capitol building. I was there for the whole thing. I filmed the episode, whatever. Like, why the fuck did Baked Alaska and Nick Fuentes enter the building? Like, I didn't
Nick
that.
now, from what I understand, Nick never went in.
Nick didn't go in.
Okay. Yeah, no, Baked went in, from what I understand. Now, if you were there, did Baked at any time put his legs in the air and start masturbating?
Oh,
there
was some dudes talking about Alaska and shit, and he was beating off everywhere. But I didn't think he was an internet personality. I thought that was just a homeless guy. And there's a lot of those in DC.
Just doing what he needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that was crazy because he's been off the internet since then, right?
No, he streams all the time. He had like
Baked
an
Alaska's
RV
back.
Yeah, he has he tried to do an RV stream where he spent like 20 grand on a broken RV, and now he's so poor he can't buy groceries, I guess.
Oh man.
Things aren't going well for him, I guess, would be the best way to sum it up. Yeah, it sounds like everything's gone to shit town for Baked.
Maybe he should go get a job at BuzzFeed again, or wherever the fuck he was working.
I know, it's remarkable, really, when you think about his journey politically, and just it's been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, I don't trust that guy. But yeah,
I don't either.
After being at the fucking the storm of the Capitol thing, it's like, how could you think it was a good idea to enter the building? There's cops everywhere. I saw a dude get shot in the face with a fucking plastic bullet thing. It was like in his mouth. He had a hole in his face. I don't know. I never understood that.
Yeah, I don't know what Baked was thinking. But like because like right after that, he went on with streaming doing dumb shit where he'd spray people with pepper spray and scream at people about masks and shit, and get in like go in stores and start shit. So it seemed like he didn't care. Like he was like, nothing's gonna happen. But if the rumor, if what Alice is saying is true, who knows? And if the other rumors about him turning over evidence, I don't fucking know. Sounds like a clusterfuck, man.
Yeah, it sounds like a disaster. Listen, I love a good prank. I think harassing someone publicly until they're upset enough to warrant you pepper spraying them, I think that's a great prank.
I wonder what would happen with the they had a clip of Baked Alaska eating, like, they were so poor they couldn't even get like a butane burner for their RV trip, so they're just eating beefaroni out of the can raw.
At what point are you gonna just give it up and just go get a regular job, or or at least do DoorDash? I mean, is content that fun and easy that you want to fucking?
Well, what I don't get is, from what I understand, his parents are fairly wealthy, so it's not like he even really needs to do this. So I don't know what the impetus is for him to keep trying.
He just likes being an e-celeb. He likes the attention.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think the stress is getting to him. He's put on like 100 pounds. He went from a pretty svelte guy to like he's pretty fat right now. I think all the stress of the shit going on right now is getting to him.
My God. Yeah. No, I figured he was like fucked or in jail. I didn't know he was streaming. I'm gonna have to check out a Baked Alaska stream.
If you check out some of this, yeah, some of the clips, yeah, it's very sad. Yeah, it's like all his money went to a broken RV. He's fat. He's sad. Alice is telling people about his masturbation habits. It's just like going badly for him.
I mean, I think like, it's ironic coming from me, but I think being like an influencer, being a social media guy is like kind of it's not a good thing to be. I think it's like a poisonous thing to engage in.
I think it is too. Yeah, if you can make money online, fine, but like don't start huffing your own farts and thinking that you're the leader of the next great thing. I hate the term influencer too. I mean, it's such a weird term in and of itself and what it denotes.
Yeah, and I get it. I'm a long-haired mustache dude with the cool Jeff Gordon jacket, but I don't think all these people crying for internet attention or having this terrible online persona and then like continually doing it, not just going and getting a real job or changing their life. I think that's pretty ridiculous. Like, Only Use Me Blade. You're familiar with that guy?
Yeah. No, he was on our RV trip too. I think it was Gucci's, wasn't it? Where she was like drunk in the back, and he went back there, and there was the whole fucking thing with that.
Yeah, that was very weird. And like, yeah, he's drank so much, he's has like diabetes, holes in his leg, and I don't know. It's just sad, dude.
Yeah, his foot is rotting off. It's just surreal.
And this asshole he's with, there's this one clip where this asshole he's with is like pouring liquor on his open wound because it's like funny for the stream. It's like, dude, that's a guy that he should adopt your no internet friends fucking.
Oh, well, there's the other guy too that put hot sauce in one of his open wounds on his festering leg and then licked it out.
Yeah, those are the kind of people I want around me.
Oh fuck, man. Oh.
Well, at least I'm an e-celeb. I'm cool. Great. Alexi Time donated $20 and said, "Hey Jim, you fell off my radar. Glad to hear you again. What do you think of Destiny's ban?"
From Twitch, I think it's stupid. He literally was so banal. It was so just mundane, right? It wasn't vicious. I think Twitch has become so like what can you do on Twitch anymore?
We couldn't have this conversation. We already have said enough nasty words.
Oh, we would have been banned within 5 minutes. Yeah. It's not even political stuff. It's like anything. If you make a joke, if you say anything wrong, it's like.
Yeah, I think if you say like simp or retard or any of these words that are like not even the most nasty words.
Yeah. It's just I'd hate to be one of the guys that like built my career on Twitch and's got like 200,000 subs, and dealing with what it's like now must be just fucking nightmarish.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather than like completely conform and become this like shell of who I am, which is like what I wanted to avoid by quitting being a teacher. Like I'd rather just have all my shit go up in flames and then go back into the workforce. You know what I mean? Rather than really hold on to this internet thing for too long.
Yeah.
Fucking seems like a disaster. Jim, seriously, how did your day go and what did you do today? You really helped in great times of deep depression. Thank you, Jim, for all the amounts of great content. That's from Sweetie Squad, $10. Very nice, very sweet.
Yeah, I've been watching Kerfuffle and Destiny go back and forth, and watching as like 20 other people get sucked into this thing as they go mad with moderate power about their bot army ratio. I mean, I do agree with Keemstar and others. Like it's so inorganic, the amount of likes, to do this ratio shit they're doing. And I'm pretty sure that, they're running bots, but it's just been, I've watched that all day. It's been entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it seems like there's a fascinating little situation going on there. Whoever the fuck Kerfles is, Keffels. I've never heard of that fucking that bitch until today, or that nice woman, beautiful woman, whatever. Invader Vim gave $5 and said, "Has Null come up yet? I got here late."
No.
Null.
It's the owner of Kiwi Farms.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm familiar with Kiwi Farms. I know it's like a forum of sorts. They love Sam Hyde. They typically... It's like Encyclopedia Dramatica, right? Like they'll give you information about stuff with like, their own little spin on it.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you had stuff like Essay or Encyclopedia Dramatica, hell, even NeoGAF for a while before it kind of got super stringent, stuff like that. And then Kiwi Farms is the place that you'd go now to get screen caps and talk about stuff that you can't talk about anywhere else. I guess they're bringing up Null because Ralph is engaged in a blood feud with him. So maybe because we talked about Ralph, I don't know.
Wait, currently? There's so much fucking shit going on. It's incredible.
Well, Ralph hates Null. So they've got like a blood feud going on.
And why does Ralph hate Null? Because Null was talking shit about him?
This is my understanding. Null, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, made some comment essentially saying Ralph needed to be sacrificed to the corn for the good of everybody. And Ralph lost his shit, and now it's been like internet warfare between the two of them for like a year and a half.
Well, that was the first blood. That was the striking point.
One corn joke, yeah.
Who would have thought so much turmoil could come from one comment like that? Knight or Nye gave $10 and said, "Hey Jim, Pipkin Pippa once on. Also, is there an ETA on Bully the Week coming back?"
I'm trying to use a different source to see what I can put up as far as merchandise. I'll see how it goes. I liked it. I thought it was funny. I'll see if I can figure it out. Who knows?
When is the March recap? Jimbo says Epic Yoshi for $2.
End of the month, so 31st on Thursday.
And yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good one. The last one was a fucking hoot.
Yeah, especially I'll be covering like 5 different things, so it should be good.
Adrian Blair 1 says Bromedy blank. I don't know what is that.
So that would be another Ralph thing. There's a restraining order against him from Adrian, and he's not legally allowed to use her name.
Okay.
So people will post her name to troll him because he can't address it.
Oh, he has to just act like he doesn't see it?
Yeah, exactly.
VHS Paradise with another $5. James Bear Internet Friends leaked his stuff. Then he made 2 statements about it. One in 2020, another a few weeks ago. He said she agreed to it. I guess he's talking about his 9-year-old sister.
Okay, so I just want... I want to see if I'm covering my bases here. So his defense of this is, it's okay, I was depressed, and it's okay, she agreed to it. My 9-year-old sister, whom I raped, agreed to it because I was depressed.
And being harassed online.
I was harassed so badly online, this preteen girl decided to have sexual intercourse with me. Is probably, I don't know if a judge has ever heard that one before. And how did this get leaked in 2020? And they bought that at the time, and so now it's just coming to light again?
Yeah, they just glossed over it in 2020, and it wasn't a big deal?
It was like, oh, hey, he's depressed. Come on, guys. Haven't we all raped a preteen when we were feeling down?
I mean, I remember getting a C when in second grade and came home and looked at my dog, my house pet, and I just thought about the terrible things I would do.
I'm gonna go watch a video on this afterwards. I'm really interested now into how this came about, how exactly who he told that leaked it, and what he thought was gonna happen.
Look at you, Mr. Holier Than Thou. What do you do to fill the void of depression? You don't get to rape it?
I'm one of those weird people. I play a video game or something. Jeez, I'm a sick fuck. What
insane.
am I doing?
That was always something I thought about in college when they talked about feminism and rape culture. I've never, I mean, it could just be me. I've never met someone that thought rape was cool or good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's we live in a rape culture where we're glorifying rape. Who do I know that fucking thinks it's good to do that to someone? I mean, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, exactly. It's nuts.
And then Bromedy Blank with another $2. He's really emptying the coffers here. He says, ask Jim if he's going to speedrun a ban on Twitch.
Yes, I do plan on doing that.
He does plan on doing that.
I do. I put some thought and effort into how I'm going to do it, and it should be fun and probably will only last 10 seconds when you see what's going to happen.
Hell yeah. Well, let's see. How long are we into this? We're damn near 3 hours. Thank you so much, Mr. Metokur, for your time. You're the shit. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I had a fun time, man.
Is there anything else we should cover before we go?
No, I think we're good. I guess everybody should go check out some James Bear content to see what this dumb fucker thought he was going to get away with.
Yeah, we'll end on that note. Go watch the James Bear. Oh, we got Alexi Time with a $20 donation. Hey Jim, how did that live stream where Worski tried to get his bud to commit murder turn out? Did anyone do time?
So from what I understand, nobody went to jail on that because the other guys involved, who were also from out of the country, I think they were also Canadian, didn't like pursue it to push charges, and I think the cops just basically let it go. I don't know if is it Alex had his gun taken away, but aside from that, I don't think anybody really got punished in that.
Well, there's your answer. But yeah, like I said, I've been a big fan for a while. I'm looking forward to more of your content. I hope your fucking health gets better. This autoimmune system shit seems terrible. So
Yeah, appreciate it.
Praying for you on that tip. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I don't know when the fucking video essay will be out, but I think within the next few months. And if I have any other questions, I'll just send you a message.
Yeah, feel free to message me, and when you get the video up, hit me up. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to run through it before I post it and make sure I'm not fucking anything up astronomically.
No. Feel free to do whatever you got to do. It's what makes it fun.
Just make it completely facetious and shitty and paint you as this monster.
It'd be funny.
Yeah.
Take all the audio from the stream and cut it up in a really clever way. Because I've talked about James Bear in Israel, and then just be like, look at this guy, Jesus.
The vitriol.
Oh, it's terrible.
But yeah, that's that. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to close the stream. Everyone, if you're in here and you're a fan of my stuff, you don't know Mr. Metokur, check out what you can check out. There's a lot of mirrors up. There's BitChute. I mean, is there a quintessential place to get old Metokur content?
Oh, it's all mirrored up on YouTube. I'm sure if you look around, you'll find it. It's all over the place. So just check it out on YouTube. There are a ton of clipping channels. You'll find a mirror.
Yeah, so go check that stuff out, you guys, because odds are if there's a funny internet story at some point, you've covered it in a hilarious way. So, again, I appreciate you, brother, and thanks for coming on stream.
Okay, yeah, I'll close out the little meet thing. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
What a stuff.